Homecoming King and Queen, Mr. Bradley Spencer and Miss Ellie Parsons, who will be crowning this year's homecoming royalty. Bradley is the son of Mitch and Jessica Spencer and attended Wheeling University, where he is majoring in exercise science to become a physical therapist. He is also a member of the Wheeling Cardinal wrestling team. Ellie is the daughter of Trevor and Millie Parsons of McConnellsville and has younger brother Evan, who is a junior here at Morgan. She is currently studying science at Zane State and plans to get a degree in radiation therapy. Welcome home, Ellie and Bradley. Our freshman attendant this year is Miss Raina Wallace. Raina is the daughter of Pam King and Tyler Wallace of Malta. She is an active member of the Student Council, 4-H, and FFA. Raina is also on the competitive dance team at Center Stage Performing Arts Studio. Her plans for the future are to attend college and major in radiology. Congratulations, Raina. Our sophomore attendant is Miss Rebecca Kreitz. Becca is the daughter of Michael Kreitz and Kristen Riker of Stockport. She currently plays soccer and runs track in the spring. In her future, she plans on attending Ohio University to major in nursing. Congratulations, Becca. Our junior attendant is Miss Amelia Bookman. She is the daughter of Ashley and Jeff Bookman of Malta. She is an active member of Raider Faith, Pep Club, and Study Club. Amelia is a varsity soccer player and works at McConnellsville Coffee House. Her plans for the future are to attend Ohio University and major in psychology. Congratulations, Amelia. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your senior homecoming corps. Our first couple is senior Gianna Myers and Hayden Pauley. Gianna is the daughter of Emily Myers of McConnellsville and Jerry Myers of Zanesville. She participates in varsity soccer, basketball, and softball. While participating in athletics, she has received many awards, such as district honors, league honors, and team awards. She has served 8 years in 4-H, 4 years as student council member, 3 years as study club member, and 2 years as a National Honor Society member. While planning to attend college, Gia's plans for the future are still undecided at this time. Congratulations, Gia. Gia's senior escort is Hayden Pauley. Hayden is the son of Jeremy and Jessica Pauley of McConnellsville. Hayden is a 4-year member of the varsity football team, where he has been recognized as the offensive back of the year and second team All-NBL. Hayden also plays varsity baseball. His plans after high school are to attend a college and major in sports management and continue his football career. Congratulations, Hayden and Gia. Our next couple are Peyton Welch and Jackson Pauley. Peyton is the daughter of Andy Garrett of McConnellsville and Robert and Bethany Welsh of Pennsville. She is a member of the Student Council, National Honor Society, Raider Faith, and Study Club. Peyton Letter is a varsity basketball cheerleader, plays soccer, and enjoys volunteering for the Morgan County Board of Developmental Disabilities. Peyton plans to attend college to become a cardiovascular sonographer. Congratulations, Peyton. Peyton's escort is Mr. Jackson Pauley. Jackson is the son of Josh and Bridget Pauley of Malta. Jackson is a member of the soccer and track teams. He has also played football. Jackson has served as class president for the last 2 years. He leads the student section during the football games and basketball season. Jackson has earned the most points for field events the last 3 years and has received the Most Spirited Award as well. Jackson also led the senior class to the win on the Spirit Stick this week. After high school, Jackson plans to attend Miami University and major in psychology. Congratulations, Peyton and Jackson. Our final couple for tonight are Riley Tayo and Clark Smith. Riley Tayo is the daughter of Nick and Mindy Tayo from Beavertown. Riley is an active member of the Student Council, National Honor Society, and Study Club. She is also the senior class vice president. Her plans for the future include attending Vanderbilt University and following a pre-med pathway to pursue her dream of becoming a general surgeon. Her escort is Mr. Clark Smith. Clark is the son of Jennifer and Adam Smith from McConnellsville. He is in Student Council, treasurer of the class of 2026, and a member of the National Honor Society. Clark runs in the cross-country team in both indoor and outdoor track, and his plans for the future are to attend Ashland University to run cross-country track and major in computer science. Clark has received such awards such as Outstanding Scholar Athlete for 3 years and the Archie Griffin Award in 2025. Congratulations, Riley and Clark. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that the student body has been voting on and waiting for forever. Your 2025 Morgan High School Homecoming King is Hayden Pauley. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Morgan High School Homecoming Queen is Miss Gianna Myers. Congratulations, Kay Hayden and Queen Gianna. We're excited to see you next year as you crown the 2026 Morgan High School Homecoming King and Queen. Ladies and gentlemen, your King and Queen, Hayden and Gianna. Class of 2026, let's hear it one more time for your win on the Spirit Stick of this homecoming week.
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a country that has many freedoms. To honor America, please rise, remove your hats, and face the flag for the presentation of our colors. Our members of Montana American Legion Post 24. Members participating tonight are Steve Sherman, Bill Ward, John Robbins, Rob Cunningham, Randy Bragg, John Larry, and Jeff Bragg.
It's football time in East Central Ohio. From ABC Sports and WYLE Cambridge, 107.9, 98.5, Nash Icon. Now it's time to head to the field for tonight's game.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to YRP TV here on ABC Sports. Week number 7 of our high school football season, and a beauty weather-wise here. A warm night for the players and the bands and everyone here at Morgan County. We're at Raiders Stadium, where the 4-2 Morgan Raiders host the 3-3 John Glenn Little Muskies. Brett Klein and Mike Mitchell are with us on the video crew on YRP TV. Thanks a lot, guys. Dave Davidson and Richard Hall here in the booth. And Richard, the Raiders, pretty good season so far. This program has turned it around from where they were a few years ago, and Coach Seth Brown has done a fabulous job with this group in rebuilding this program, and it's showing in the first 6 weeks so far.
Really has, Dave, and I'll tell you, coming in, Morgan's won two games in a row, and they're going to look to continue that tonight. A very impressive win last week against West Muskingum, 42-28, and just put together a really nice football game. Tanner Banks came in on the ground with 18 carries for 120 yards. Had a school record last week with Jude Garber kicking a 42-yard field goal for a school record, and just came in and played very solid. Senior quarterback Hayden Pauley was a very solid 14 of 17 through the air for 158 yards. Pauley also ran for 87 yards on 12 carries. So, offensively, really had a nice game last week.
Our live coverage of our national anthem, brought to you by the Morgan High School Marching Band, was brought to you by Southeastern Ohio Credit Union. Our thanks to them and all of our fine AVC sports sponsors. We'll mention them throughout the night as well. Morgan turned around, started out gangbusters here early on with 3 or 4 wins to start the year. Have cooled off a little bit here, have had reached the tougher part of their schedule. On the John Glenn side of things here, Richard, they're looking to really fill in some holes, and there's been some gaping holes that have happened, both a couple on the offensive line, a couple on defense, and they have struggled to find some continuity here, and their record shows that at 3-3.
Really have, and did not play well last week at all against Meadowbrook for their homecoming game, and just really struggled. Meadowbrook really did a nice job taking some things away from them, and when I look at the game plan tonight for both teams, I think it's going to be very similar. The fact that Meadowbrook really was able to run the ball against the Muskies last week, that's a strength of the Morgan Raiders. So if you're John Glenn tonight, you're really going to have to find a way to stop the run. And also, Meadowbrook had very much success last week with the bubble screen, and I'm sure Morgan watched the same film as we did, and we'll be trying to exploit that tonight as well. But, John Glenn really needs to put together a solid effort and get back on the winning ways. When you look at them statistically, John Glenn does average about 28 points a game and give up about 15. So, when you look at that span there, it's a decent span offensively versus defensively. But John Glenn just needs to be more consistent, take care of the football, and minimize the opportunities for the Morgan Raiders.
We've seen some new faces in the lineup for John Glenn. As we said, Cash Paisley was out in week number 1, broken collarbone. Out for the year. A couple of other season-ending injuries for this group too, and we've Colton Gress, who was a transfer, has to sit out the second half of the season for John Glenn, and so Matt Edwards and that crew has had their work cut out for him trying to fill some of these holes. Morgan, they're going to rely obviously heavily tonight on their what is now the homecoming king for tonight's homecoming contest here at Morgan, Hayden Pauley, 6'2", 170-pound senior.
Yeah, they really are. And, then, of course, Tanner Banks last week had a big game on the ground and also scored a couple touchdowns. So, big night. And if you're John Glenn, I'm sure they're going to rely on their experience with, running back Reese Metzger and Owen Edwards, senior quarterback. They're going to start with them to get the offense turned around and try to put some points on the board for the Muskies.
Well, and the offensive line really has got to gel together quickly here for John Glenn. And this one did not protect all that well last week. Owen Edwards was fleeing for his life quite a few times with that Meadowbrook pass rush a week ago, so they're hoping to correct that one as well. John Glenn will get the ball first to start. They won the toss, we believe, and they have elected to receive. Our AVC sports sponsors on our YRP TV live stream tonight are Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, Allwell Behavioral Health, Dutro Ford Lincoln Nissan, House of Pain Tattoos, TK Auto Service, Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions, Action Total Staffing, TK Auto Service, Doane Ford, West 40 Auto Sales, Village Hardware and Rental, the Zimba Companies, Shriver's Pharmacy, Zane State College, and Bicon Services. Our thanks to each one of those. We'll get to the John Glenn offensive lineup here in just a moment after this Valentine Insurance kickoff by Morgan's Jude Garber. And it'll be taken by Metzger around the 10. Coming up the right side, gets to the 30 and is thrown down there. 20-yard return for Metzger, wrapped up and thrown down by Morgan's Carter Larrick, a sophomore. Offensive lineup for John Glenn looks like this. Across the front, left to right, Dylan Southerton, 5'10", 205-pound junior, number 53, will be in at left tackle. Jimmy Boyd, number 61, 240-pound senior. Owen Abels, a sophomore center, number 55, 235 pounds. On the right side of the line, Landon Cornelius, a 235-pound junior, number 77, which we will probably see, although right now not in that starting lineup. Rowdy Zimba, number 50, there on that right tackle spot, a 210-pound sophomore. Quarterback Owen Edwards hands it off to Reese Metzger, the 5'10", 190-pounder. And the senior runs for a gain of 8 up to the 38-yard line, about a yard and a half short of the first down. Wide receivers we'll see for John Glenn most of the night. We'll see number 80 there, Ryder Pennington, a senior at 6'3". Jensen Perry, a sophomore, number 21 in the slot, 5'9", 175-pound sophomore. And right in there right now is number 3, Reed Howard, a sophomore at 5'9", to the right side. Trips receivers over on that wide left. They'll toss it to the left side for Metzger on a little shovel pitch. Flag comes in behind the play, 2 of them, in fact. And that's probably bad news for the visitors, as Metzger ran for about 6 on the first down, but it's not going to count.
Yeah, more than likely when that flag comes from that area of the field, it's going to be holding, and that's the call.
Someone sealed on the outside, or one of those slot receivers out there got a little bit grabby. That'll move it back just inside the GG 30, so a second and a long 10, close to 11, I guess it looks like now. Morgan Raider defense up front, the front 4, James Thomas, number 64, Jarrett Paxton, 73, Charlie Shad, 61, and Devin Waggy, number 66. The linebackers on the outside, Arlis Ponchak, number 3, and Shane Harney, number 80. In the middle is Jacob Hamilton, 35. Edwards back to throw it on 2nd and 11. Good protection this time. Now scrambles out to his left. Kind of ran in toward the defense. I'm surprised Edwards didn't roll out to the right. And Edwards ran right to where a lot of those blue jerseys on that front line was, and Edwards will be sacked for 3 yards.
Yeah, he had good space to the right, Dave, and decided to go to the left side, and that was definitely taken away immediately by the Raider defense.
It's amazing how things look very differently up here in the press box and when you're down on the field. So now a 3rd down, 13. Edwards from the pistol with 2 receivers left and 2 to the right as well. Max Morrow in the slot, 84, throwing deep, looking for Pennington, and got held up a little bit trying to run to the football. And Raider faithful not too happy about that call, but it looked like Hayden Banks, number 4, guilty of just getting that left arm out there and getting a little jersey grab on Pennington to keep from running to the football. Raider fans don't like it. He's running step for step with him, but if he doesn't extend that left arm and come out there with it, that's good coverage.
Yeah, you're right. He just, at the last second, just, got involved there to take away the catch, but had a little too much jersey.
So John Glenn gets a break on a long 3rd and 13. They get a 15-yard penalty up to the 42, and they'll have a first down now. Morrow and Pennington out there to the far left side on the short side of the field. Jensen Perry is there in the slot. And Reed Howard, number 3, to the near side. Metzger in the backfield along with Edwards. And the give is to Metzger off the left side. Has some good room at first. And then Hayden Polly, the quarterback turned safety on the Morgan defensive side, comes up and closes the gap after a gain of 4. Our video instant replays tonight from Brett Klein and Mike Mitchell are brought to you by High Street Seneca, LLC. Second down, 6 with 9:45 remaining in this opening quarter, opening drive for JG. And that 3-receiver set on a reverse. Here comes Jensen Perry. He's going to be wrapped up and brought down at the line of scrimmage. Great open field tackle. Kason Foley, number 8, the safety, came up and read that nicely. Nice open field tackle.
Really was. I thought Perry was going to be able to gain some yards there on that right side, but tackle was made very quickly by the Morgan Raider defense.
Right now, this Raider defense on the opening possession are showing that they've got some speed back there in that back 6, 7 players there with their linebacking core and secondary. Late substitution coming on, 76, Vincent Strawler, a sophomore, 250-pounder, will be in there in the defensive tackle spot. Edwards from the pistol on 3rd and 6 from their own 46. 3 receivers left. Edwards looks that way. A quick out to Jensen Perry, gets hit behind the line. He has no chance to escape. And again, that was number 4, Hayden Banks, quickly up there to make the first hit on Perry to drive him back about 3 or 4 yards. It'll be a loss of 2 on the pass completion and probably punt time, as Perry, I would assume, will come back and assume the punt formation. That's not what they're showing right now, though. Perry is in the slot as a receiver with 3 others. On a 4th down and a long 7. Metzger will come up now. Edwards is going to drop back. They're going to pooch punt this one. It's a beauty from Edwards. And it'll bounce at the 18 of Morgan, touched by Pennington just outside the 15-yard line, and it'll be dead right there. So a nice special teams play by John Glenn, which will get them about a 41-yard net. Morgan Raider offense now takes over, and we're going to see this 2-headed monster of Hayden Pauley and Tanner Banks. Pauley, the quarterback, number 2, and Tanner Banks, a 195-pound junior. Real tough runner, low center of gravity, again, like several of these MVO running backs.
Yeah, very much so, and I would expect Morgan to really try to establish the run with Banks and Pauley early in this game because they had great success with it last week, and I think they'll test out the John Glenn defense. And if you're John Glenn, the defensive line is going to have to play well tonight.
Morgan offensive line, we'll get to that here in a moment after, well, this flag here is going to be someone moved up front. False start is called against Morgan. So that offensive line front for the Raiders, left to right, 72 Wittenshad, 240-pound senior. James Thomas, number 64, a junior at 225. The center is 280-pound junior Malachi Flowers, 79. On the right side of the line for Morgan, Devin Waggy, number 66, 250-pounder, and Charlie Shad, 235-pounder, a pair of seniors on that right side of the line. The wide receivers, 17, McGuire Winter, a sophomore at 5'11". Kason Foley, number 8, and Tyson Orwig, a junior at 6'1". That's Winter in motion going to the right side. They fake it on the little jet sweep action, and they run it straight up the gut for Pauley, the quarterback. Will keep it himself. A short gain on the play, about 1. John Glenn defense up front. Landon Cornelius in the middle, 77, with Kean Barton, number 70, and Braden Knowlton, 79, on the outside. The linebackers, Dominic Bates on the outside, number 29 on the far outside, and number 25, Kieran Arrington. I'll get it right. Number 25 there, dropping back into coverage. They set up a middle screen looking for Hayden Banks, the other Banks. We've called Hayden's name more times so far defensively, and now with his first pass reception, that's a gain of 6. Just short of the 25. We'll mark it at the 24, 3rd down and a long 2. Connor Shoemake and Max Morrow, the linebackers, number 12, and number 84, Morrow. And on the outside, the corners, Reese Metzger, 8. To the far side, number 3, Reed Howard. And August Camp, number 23, is back as a safety again this week after playing last week. Banks bounces off a tackler. He's down the sideline, escapes another tackle, and is finally shoved out near the 20. And that is a Bicon Services first down for the Morgan Raiders after a huge run by Banks, which will get him about 46 yards. They'll mark him out around the 22. So about a 47, 48-yard run unofficially for Tanner Banks, the junior, number 22, a huge run. And again, you know, John Glenn's defense here after this, another penalty flag here, looks like against Morgan, showing some vulnerability on the outside again.
Really are, and that's the thing, you know, defensively, John Glenn really has to step up and take away the run, and that is the strength of the Morgan Raiders.
Well, you can see by the way Banks, 22, Tanner Banks that is, the way he runs, you can see why he's a tough customer to bring down. He's not just a power back. This kid's got some wheels along that outside. He's there. You can see him with the pink wristbands and the pink socks to the left of the quarterback. And on the fake play action draw, that's a quick throw out to Cason Foley. He's inside the 10. Another Bicon Services first down Raiders. First and goal out at the 7. And right now, this John Glenn defense being gouged again like they were in the 41-14 loss at home to Meadowbrook last week. And we'll see what number 2, Hayden Pauley, draws up here on a first and goal just outside the 8-yard line. They've got 3 running backs. They go with a full house backfield. And the 2 blocking backs will lead Banks through the left side. Banks gets inside the 5 and shoved out around the 4 by Connor Shoemake and Kieran Arrington. So they get about half of the yardage toward the goal line. Second and goal now for Morgan in a scoreless game with nearly 6.5 to go on a beautiful homecoming night here in Morgan County.
You know, Dave,
and a timeout here taken by Morgan.
Sorry about that, Dave, but you talk about Tanner Banks with the good quickness he has. He also weighs 195 pounds, so he's not going to go to the ground very easily.
Not at all. He's hard runner, and several of these skill players here, Foley and Pauley and Banks, have all proven to be very tough customers. So the Raiders here with the timeout, they'll have a second and goal just inside the 5 in the J&M Electric red zone. Again, we'll take a moment to thank our YRP TV sponsors for tonight's live stream broadcast. Action Total Staffing, Zane State College, TK Auto Service, Shriver's Pharmacy, House of Pain Tattoos, the Zimba Company, Dutro Ford Lincoln Nissan, Bicon Services, Abel's Electric Heating and Air Conditioning, Allwell Behavioral Health Services, West 40 Auto Sales, Village Hardware and Rental, Bicon Services, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, Doane Ford, and Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health. And we resume now with Morgan a second and goal as Pauley again works from the pistol with Banks on his left side. And they'll toss it on the jet sweep. That is McGuire Winter, the sophomore, struggling to the 2, to the 1. Still a tough customer to bring down. He'll get forward progress to the 1. And a gain of 3 for number 17, sophomore McGuire Winter, their slot receiver, getting his first touch of the night. So now a third and goal from the J&M Electric red zone here now for the Raiders. 2 downs here, Richard, for the Raiders to pick up the game's first score.
No question, but they also have a very reliable field goal kicker, so could be a tough decision if they don't score here on third down. But I would assume, based on the ball location, it's 4-down territory.
Yeah. Again, 3 running backs behind Hayden Pauley. And they'll give it to Tanner Banks, the first man through, plunges across. No signal yet. Now there is a touchdown for the Raiders. Kemp Insurance Agency touchdown for the Morgan Raiders, and they take an early 6-0 lead with 5:39 remaining in quarter number 1. And now senior Jude Garber, the right footer, will attempt the point after attempt. Took a little while for the hold to get down, but a nice job by Hayden Pauley to get it in place on a low snap. And Jude Garber knocks it through as the Raiders take a 7-0 advantage on homecoming night here at Raiders Stadium. We'll step aside for a moment, and we'll return on YRP TV.
I'm Ted from TK Auto Service at 2303 Glen Highway.
And I'm Julie. We've been in business for 26 years, proudly serving this community with reliable and trustworthy auto services.
Our customers are like family, and we are committed to keeping your vehicle running smoothly.
Whether it's a quick oil change or a major repair, we're here for you. We appreciate your trust and support.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram to stay updated and connected.
Thanks for choosing TK Auto Services. We're here because of you.
Dave Davidson, Richard Hall back on YRP-TV. Thanks again to Brett Klein and Mike Mitchell on our YRP-TV live stream crew. And an early 7-0 lead for the home team. The Raiders in their navy red, navy blue. The Raiders score first on a Tanner Banks 1-yard plunge.
Yeah, and Banks right there during that possession, 3 carries, 52 yards. Obviously, the big carry for 47 yards. But if you're Morgan, you're thrilled with your offensive possession right there to go down, execute your offense, and come away with 7 points.
And this kickoff brought to you by Valentine Insurance on Southgate Parkway. Taken at the 19, Jensen Perry stumbles over a tackler and gets outside the 35. A return of 17, Jensen Perry. So now the Muskies have to rebound here, and they fell behind early last week to Meadowbrook, trailed 20-0, and had to wait to the very last play of the half before getting a kind of prayer-answered 13-yard touchdown pass on the final play of the half. They don't want to get down like they did last week.
No, they don't, and you're right, Dave. They need to come down and get this game tied up and stay right in this contest. The last thing they want to do is get behind on the road, homecoming night, a lot of emotion. So if you're John Glenn, you definitely need to try to score on this possession.
And Edwards out of the pistol with 3 receivers. Fakes it to Metzger. Tries to run between center and guard. Tough sledding right there with a gain of 2. Edwards was swallowed up by that defensive line, led by number 76, Vincent Strawler.
He's just a mere 6 foot 250, so when he met him, he was going to take him down. Great tackle by Strawler.
3 receivers wide left here for John Glenn. Edwards looks right, now comes back to the left to Ryder Pennington, scoops up a low throw and nearly escaped, but a nice open field tackle as the cannon smoke blows across the field right now. We're trying to get some numbers. That was Hayden Pauley, the safety, coming up with that open field tackle. That'll be a gain of 5. On the pass play, 3rd down and 3 from their own 44. John Glenn in desperate need of a first down. They got one via the pass interference penalty on the last drive.
Yeah, if you're John Glenn, you just want to establish your offense, get some type of rhythm going, and go down and put some points on the board.
Perry 21 in motion going left. They'll give it to Metzger on the sweep left. Has some room, has a Bicon Services first down and across the 50. That'll move the chains for the second time for John Glenn into Raider territory after a gain of 4. Ball still over there on that left hash mark. They've run to the short side a good bit so far this season. They're not all that concerned about whether the ball's on the left or right hash. They got certain plays designed. I think they try to cross up defenses a little bit and keep them from just maybe overloading the wide side.
They really do, and John Glenn does a great job of playing to their strength.
2 receivers near side, Howard and Perry. And they'll give it to Metzger. Started outside right, had to make a cutback move as Zimba, the right tackle, was tied up with one of the defensive linemen. And Metzger, with pretty good vision there, turns almost nothing into a 4-yard gain. Just under 4 minutes now. We'll see John Glenn maybe trying to pick up the tempo a bit and get in some sort of a rhythm or try to tire out this Raider defense a little. On a 2nd and 6 from the 45 of Morgan. Edwards looking deep, looking for Pennington again down that side, and it is incomplete. Nice man-for-man coverage. Pennington had Kaysen Foley, number 8, in coverage down there and able to knock it away. Make that number 3, Arlis Ponchak. Number 3, not 8. So Ponchak with a pass deflect.
Pretty good ball by Edwards there, and Ponchak did a nice job closing ground and knocking that away, but the ball was pretty well thrown by Edwards.
Ponchak normally, you could see him there in the middle playing kind of one of those swing players, linebacker, safety / fifth defensive back. 3 receivers left. Dominic Bates to the right side. Edwards scrambling out to his left, trying to look for room, still looking, heaves it toward the sideline and looking for Reed Howard, but nothing there. Coverage had that play swallowed up well. Incomplete pass for Owen Edwards. 5'9" senior QB for John Glenn, and now faces a 4th down and 6 from the Morgan 45, and I don't believe we're going to see a pooch punt this time. I think they're going to go for the first down here. That's Metzger in the backfield with him. Pennington and Perry are the wideouts to the left. Morrow and Reed Howard on the right side. 4 receivers in the pattern on a 4th and 6. And Edwards will drop back again, and he will pooch punt this one. That at least keeps the returner out of the picture, but this time it takes a Morgan bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So just a 25-yard net punt out of Edwards. Pretty good. It was still a good punt. Just got really just kind of a bad break on the turf.
Yeah, it really was. But, you know, that's probably a good decision right there because you want to flip the field, because if you do not get that first down, already trailing 7-0, you just don't want to give the Morgan Raiders the football at that part of the field this early in the game.
Yeah, still a little too early to push the panic button just yet. I agree with the decision as well. 3:23 to play first quarter, 7-0 Morgan Raiders. Homecoming night here at Morgan High School's Raider Stadium. And the homecoming king, Hayden Pauley, will hand it off to Banks again, and he's got more room into the secondary. Bounces off of tacklers, and you cannot tackle that young man high around the shoulders or you're going to get burned. And he brings up 24 yards on the JG defense, another Bicon Services first down.
You know, Banks has 4 carries, 76 yards, Dave. So if you're John Glenn, you're going to have to find an answer to him pretty quickly.
Like now, if they're going to have a shot in this game. Raider running game, running roughshod on the fish. First down and 10 from their own 44. Pauley looking over the middle. Receiver fell down momentarily. Now comes back to him and completes it. And that'll be a pass completion to Kason Foley, number 8. Out of bounds inside the JG 45 at the 43. That's good for 13 yards. Foley, a 5'10 junior receiver. And tackled by number 58, Nolan Sowers, a sophomore. Another Bicon Services first down for the Raiders. They're making this look rather easy so far in quarter number 1. 3 receivers wide right for Hayden Pauley out of the gun. First down throw, and that is caught by Hayden Banks, number 4. And that's a Bicon Services first down gain of 14. Passing, I'm not even sure if he was the intended receiver in that pattern. He overthrew the short route, and Hayden Banks, a little gimpy coming off the field with an ankle, but turns in a 14-yard reception in spite of it.
Yeah, Hayden Pauley thus far in the first quarter, 4 for 4, 53 yards through the air. So they're executing on offense both through the air and on the ground.
For sure. Pauley again from the pistol on a first down and 10 from the JG 29, already up a touchdown. Banks on the handoff. Straight up the gut after starting toward that left side. Picks up 3. Kean Barton was in there on the part of that tackle. Under 2 minutes here in this first quarter from Raider Stadium. We drove through on our way down here, down State Route 83. I think we drove kind of crossed the tail end of the homecoming parade going through downtown McConnellsville, I think.
We absolutely did.
Had a little bit of a challenging time. We had to take some side streets and so on to get here, but we managed. Second down 7. Pauly with an empty backfield. 5 receivers in the pattern. Right over the middle. That's a catch and a touchdown. Arlis Ponchak with the reception and the TD. And Ponchak, a not often used receiver, he comes up with a big reception of 29 yards. And this Raider offense, it is humming right now with a 13-0 lead in this first quarter. Jude Garber, number 5, on to the point after, and he nails that one. JG is in a bit of a bind. They're down 14-0. The Raiders on homecoming night, they are ready to play and are in command so far in this first 10.5 minutes of this game. We'll step aside here on YRP TV, Muskie football, when we come back.
Honestly, we've all been there. That place where it's past anxiety, past focus, where even reaching out to your closest friend feels too hard. I'm Crystal Reynolds with Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions. We understand how fast those feelings can take over, especially with the stress of work, family, and life. That's why we've opened a mental health urgent care clinic in Cambridge, Ohio, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No appointment needed. Just walk in. Come in today, feel better today. Call us, Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions, Mental Health Urgent Care.
Back on YRP TV, thanks again to Brett Klein, Mike Mitchell, our video crew, Dr. Richard Hall and Dave Davidson in the booth here at Raider Stadium. And once again here for the second straight week here, John Glenn has gotten punched in the mouth here early on in this first quarter.
They really have. I'll tell you, Morgan is just firing on all cylinders offensively. Tanner Banks, 5 carries, 79 yards. Hayden Pauly, 5 for 5 for 82 yards. And that touchdown right there. So offensively, Morgan's clicking on all cylinders, and John Glenn has got to get something going offensively.
Well, they've moved it a little bit here and there, but it has not been quite as consistent.
And the thing is, Dave, Morgan has such good running game with Tanner Banks that they can control the game on the ground. They get a lead, they'll just grind it out. Gonna make it real tough for John Glenn to even have the football.
For sure. Valentine Insurance kickoff out of bounds by Morgan. That'll bring it up to the 35 for John Glenn. They have 1:26 to work with in this first quarter. Down 2 touchdowns early. Raiders have scored on both of their offensive possessions, and they have gone 84 yards and 80 yards respectively. 3 receivers for Owen Edwards. He's got 2 guys in the backfield with him. That's Dominic Bates, and he will get the handoff. Going straight up the gut, drags a few silver and blues with him, and the officials say, nope, he was down, knee was down. The ball did come out at the very end of that tackle, but a 7-yard gain for Bates, number 29. I think it's the most successful run so far on the night for John Glenn.
Really has. Well, I can tell you. That is correct.
Edwards with a quick throw. Pennington on the flanker screen, wide side. Good enough for a Bicon Services first down. Gain of 5 for number 80, Pennington. And he was brought down by number 14, Gage Roberts. First down and 10, John Glenn from their own 47 with just under 45 seconds remaining in quarter number 1, down 14-0. At the end of the first quarter, when we come back, we'll have our Surgent Construction scoreboard update. A look at some other scores going on. Edwards on first down, hands it off. Metzger finds some space outside the left tackle, gets about 5. And out there in the neighborhood was Jarrett Paxton, number 73. That will probably bring us to the end of quarter number 1. We'll see if the Muskies elect to try to go for another play. It looks like they will not. So that'll bring us to end of the first. Here at Raider Stadium, homecoming night in Morgan. And it is a good one so far for the home squad. 14-0 over John Glenn. And we'll return our second quarter of action and our Surgent Construction scoreboard update when we come back.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
Back on Wire PTV, Dave Davidson and Richard Hall in the booth. Our Surgeon Construction scoreboard update from some other games. New Lexington 28-0 over Maysville. That's your league's top team right there. The Panthers in New Lexington, they are rolling again onto their 7th win tonight. Sheridan an early 7-0 lead early second quarter at Philo. That's Metzger with the carry, about a yard short of the first down. Setting up a 3rd and 1 to start this second quarter. Union Local up 21-0 on Cambridge. Crooksville 3, West M 0 late first quarter. And no surprise, Tri-Valley hammering Riverview 27-0 in the first period there. Indian Valley 7-6 over Garraway. And Meadowbrook and Coshocton are tied at 7 late first quarter at Stewart Field in Coshocton. 3rd down and 1, fake handoff Metzger. Edwards keeps it for a Bicon Services first down. Bounces off Hayden Pauley, number 2, the safety tackler, and gets a couple of extra yards inside the 40 to the 39. A gain of about 6 for the senior quarterback Owen Edwards. And now 2 straight first downs here now for John Glenn. Now can they sustain it, get into the J&M Electric red zone, and take a chunk out of this deficit?
Yeah, they really need to. Plus, they're just resting, they're trying to attack them offensively and hold on to the football and have a long possession, a good drive, and a touchdown. John Glenn will be right back in this game.
3 receivers, short side right, and Pennington to the left. Edwards again throws a quick screen. A little bit of a high throw, but a nice grab. I believe that is number 3. Reed Howard, I think. Yep. And he did stay in bounds, picks up about 5 to the 34. I thought he was going to be marked out a little bit shorter. I was waiting to see where the far side judge was going to mark him, so it's a 5-yard pickup. Reed Howard's 2nd reception of the night. Or is that his first?
That's his first.
That's his first, okay. And we have a personal foul penalty as well. Is that a face mask? Did not see a flag, and the ball is moved inside. Yep, a 15-yard penalty. So a late hit out of bounds or a face mask gives the ball inside the J&M Electric red zone for the first time for John Glenn at the 19. Handoff Metzger trying to get outside of the right tackle. Struggles ahead for a gain of a hard 1 yard to the 18-yard line before being swarmed by a slew of Raiders. All right, was Ponchak number 3 in there with a host of others. We have an equipment, maybe an equipment issue, looks like on one of the D linemen for Morgan perhaps, or maybe it's, we got another, we got more personal fouls, offsides personal foul penalties against both Morgan and John Glenn. And I'm assuming, by the way, that number 67, Derek Harris, ran off the field for John Glenn. He was one of the guilty parties. And now we've got a full-blown conference now at the 18-yard line by the officiating crew. So we'll see. Have to just wait and see what they're sorting out here. Probably if it's during the play or after the play, I'm assuming. I don't know.
I'm also not sure whether or not it was on both teams, and it might be offsetting and they're trying to figure it out.
Well, or possibly one personal foul was during play, one's after the play. That may have something to do with it too. Now they're going to move back 15 yards against John Glenn. And Coach Matt Edwards is probably wanting some sort of a little bit of a conference, and he's going to get that now. Okay, well, now we're walking back. So the umpire is going to get his steps in, and then we're just going to move it right back to the 18-yard line again. I'm not sure if, I don't know if I've seen that before.
No, I'm not sure.
Marking time. Right face, left face.
All we know is, okay, we have a whistle. We're going to play some football.
Okay, they've got the play clock going again. That's good news. And the game clock showing 10-10. Second quarter, 14-0 Morgan, as John Glenn now trying to get back in this ball game, down 2 touchdowns. Edwards with Metzger in the backfield. That's Jensen Perry in motion going to the right. And the handoff, Metzger. Nice hole through the middle. Spins his way toward the 11. A couple of yards short of the first down. A gain of 7 yards for Reese Metzger. That's his largest gain of the night so far. Or pretty darn close.
Yeah, he's had a carry for 8 and a carry for 7, so he's right there. But, they're establishing the run for this possession, so it's been a good possession so far for John Glenn just to try to get a flow going offensively.
2 downs here to get about just over 2 yards. Edwards from the pistol again sends the slot man Jensen Perry in motion as a blocker to seal off that outside. Metzger cuts right up the gut. Another nice hole by Owen Abels and Jimmy Boyd and Landon Cornelius in the middle of that offensive line. And a Bicon Services first down and goal for John Glenn at the 5. Inside the J&M Electric red zone, so the Muskies now just 5 yards away from cutting this lead in half.
They really need this touchdown just to get back in this game.
Pennington comes flanking out wide to the left side. Reed Howard out to the right. And now Metzger in the backfield with Dominic Bates to the left. And Bates will lead the way for quarterback Owen Edwards. Bounces off of one man. And 2 flags come flowing in. Let's throw a third one in there, too, as well. Edwards gets a yard, maybe to the 4. There was a whole host of laundry. Face mask, they were trying to tackle Edwards, and they must have grabbed his face mask rather abruptly because 3 officials, all on that right side, saw the same thing. That'll move it just outside the 2, so about a 2.5-yard penalty. First and goal again for John Glenn here. Might have occurred maybe off that first bounce off or something perhaps where Edwards escaped. We didn't really get a good view of it from our vantage point.
But it must have been obvious because everybody down there threw a flag if they had one.
Well, we had 5 of the 6 officials throw a hanky on the same play last week. Hadn't seen that ever that I recall. Now a first and goal play. Metzger trying to get up the middle is bottled up and stopped at the line. So the Raider interior defense responds there. Carter Lyric, number 56, in there, along with James Thomas, 64. Second and goal. Actually a loss of a yard there. They move it back to the 3. So Metzger not getting back to the line. He'll be on the left side of quarterback Owen Edwards with Bates to the other side. And Metzger again is hit in the backfield immediately. Another tackle for loss. And again, that'll be number 56, Carter Lyric, the sophomore, with a big stop and a loss of 3 more yards all the way back to the 6. So what was looking very promising here, Richard, is quickly turning sour.
Exactly. John Glenn had done a great job with the run to get down here in the last 2 negative plays. Just the offensive line has just not been able to get penetration for Metzger. Morgan's done a great job of taking that run away here close to the goal line.
4 receivers in the pattern now with Edwards and Metzger in the backfield. Looking to the right. They'll throw it to the motion man, Perry, but it's a little bit behind him and over his head. Perry got his hands on it around the 5, but it's incomplete. And 4th and goal now at the 6-yard line in the J&M Electric red zone for John Glenn, and now 6 yards or bust. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this first half. It's been all Morgan, as you can tell by the score here on their homecoming night. Pennington and Perry to the left side. Max Morrow, Reed Howard out to the right. Metzger remains in the backfield. Coach Matt Edwards is going to burn his first time out of the half. And they'll talk over this 4th down play.
Really need a touchdown here if you're John Glenn, but it's going to be a tough call on 4th and 6.
Right now, you would think it's going to involve something. You would think of getting Edwards mobile out of the pocket, giving him some sort of an RPO, a run-pass option.
Yeah, I would think you'd have
some
to
crossing patterns.
You'd have to roll him out, but
probably so. Metzger's been successful on the drive up until the previous 2 plays before the passing completion. He was dropped for 1 and 3 yard losses respectively. Metzger, with the only 2 losses he has had in the game so far, he's really been really steady. And the center of that offensive line has done a pretty solid job, but the Raiders obviously made some adjustment there of blitzing a linebacker or 2 inside and bottling up those holes that were in the middle on this drive earlier.
And now the question is, which way do you roll Edwards out? We thought he was going to roll out right last time. He rolled left, so we'll see what happens here.
Well, the wide side of the field is the left, and you would think you would want to run into some space here. Let's see what they do. Pennington is out there all the way to the wide left, unless they throw a fade route to him, perhaps. Edwards will roll left, looking for Pennington, and Pennington wide open. I don't know how he got that open, but he did, as Gage Roberts lost coverage on him, and that is a Muskie touchdown for John Glenn, 14-6. The Kemp Insurance Agency TD for Ryder Pennington, a 6-yard pass from Owen Edwards. I didn't see if Roberts maybe stumbled a bit on the cut, but quite frankly, I was shocked that Pennington was that open.
Yeah, he was wide open, and that's a very fortunate play for John Glenn to get back in this game.
Edwards with the hold, and a nice kick by Caden West for John Glenn to make it a 14-7 hometown lead for the Morgan Raiders. 6:50 to play in half number 1. We'll step aside here on YRP TV as our Week 7 high school football coverage continues in a moment.
It's that time of year again. Football season is upon us. Hey, Mark Kelly here with Bicon Services, wishing all our local teams a great and successful year. As your premier commercial building contractor, Bicon Services is ready to tackle everything from small facility renovations to large industrial expansions. We're here to handle all your commercial and industrial needs under one roof. So while you're out there scoring the winning touchdown, let us work on making your next commercial project a success. Bicon Services, building the future one project at a time.
And our YRP TV coverage continues. 14-7 Morgan on top of John Glenn. Brett Klein and Mike Mitchell on our YRP TV video crew. Thanks, guys. Richard Hall, Dave Davidson in the booth. And finally, a touchdown for John Glenn. They didn't wait till the final play of the first half, but they waited for a quarter and a half.
Yeah, but that's still good for them to get back in this game, only down 14-7. Have to start feeling good about themselves that they've established a little bit of offense to get back in this. Now they've just got to play great defense and get the ball back and not allow Morgan to extend the lead prior to halftime.
Caden West now with this Valentine Insurance kickoff. Coming deep to the near side of the field. A couple of Raiders fight forward at around the 11. And coming up the near sideline up to the 30 after a 19-yard return by Kason Foley, number 8. And
Dave, I would expect Morgan to just keep doing what they're doing, mix up the run and the pass. They've had great success with it so far, so I think they'll just continue to hand the ball to Tanner Banks and see what they can do on the ground, at least early in the possession.
Looking to the near sideline, I thought maybe there was a hanky down on the field, but there was not. A couple of late comers into the Morgan huddle. They look a little bit discombobulated here to start their fourth series of the night. And we're going to have a Zimba Company's Raider timeout, I think. Referee is talking with Coach Seth Brown and his crew. Did the Raiders call timeout? It's an official's timeout. Well, nonetheless, it's a Zimba Company's timeout either way, even an official's timeout. So, had a couple of oddities stopping play here tonight a little, just some extra conference work. While they're doing that, we'll thank our YRP TV Week 7 high school football sponsors once again. Shriver's Pharmacy, the Zimba Company, Zane State College, West 40 Auto Sales, Village Hardware and Rental, Bicon Services, Doan Ford, TK Auto Service, Action Total Staffing, Dutro Ford, Lincoln Nissan, House of Pain Tattoos, Allwell Behavioral Health Services, Abel's Electric Heating and Air Conditioning, Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health, and Patrons Buckeye Mutual.
Dave, I don't know if a timeout was granted after the official timeout or not, but that's the longest official's timeout I've ever seen.
That's not the longest I've ever seen.
Yeah, but they weren't talking. They were just standing there.
That's true. I've seen one much, much longer than that back at McConaughey Stadium several years ago. I think maybe the final year that the Muskies played there against Philo. We had a whole big officials conference, and that lasted about 25 total minutes, believe it or not. And then the officials are still conferring now, going over to talk with Matt Edwards. I'm not exactly. It's just kind of a strange point of the game. It's a first down play. There was no penalty flags, it would seem. I have no idea what the discussion would be about. But we're at the 6:43 point of the second quarter. 14-7 Morgan. Matt Edwards is not real enthused about whatever they're talking about as he walks away a bit disheartened. And I don't know. Well, I guess we'll never know. Well, we're looking to the next door to the coaching staff for John Glenn here in the upper booth here. Brad Barkley and the group here, and they're not sure what is going on either, but nonetheless, play will resume with a first down at the 29-yard line for Morgan. 3 wides left, 1 right. And that'll be McGuire. Nope. Gage Roberts, number 14, taking the quarterback snap on that play. And hands it off. Is that Banks again?
Yeah, that's Tanner Banks once again.
Gain of looks like 3 yards. They'll spot him at the 33, I guess close to 4. Chains crew is a little bit slow in marking that ball. Second down from the 33. Morgan now as Hayden Pauley, number 2, returns the quarterback. So I don't know if that had something to do with the conference that we were witness to a moment ago or not. Pauley on a high snap will give it off again. Tanner Banks. John Glenn hits him behind the line. Kieran Arrington had a chance to bring him down behind the line, but a gain of 2 will bring up a 3rd and 4.
He's just so strong, Dave, that even when you make contact behind the line, he's going to drag you a couple yards before he goes down.
Well, he's listed at 5'7", 195. And really, to look at him, he doesn't look 195 pounds, but you can see, the biceps, the legs, everything. There's a lot of weightlifting in that young man's recent past. And Pauley on the quarterback draw will spin away from a tackle. Cornelius had him for a moment. And then Pauley drags Max Morrow out of bounds on the tackle. He'll be a yard short or less of a first down, a gain of 3. And there is another yellow flag right there in the midst of all those Raider players at the 34-yard line. Brett Klein spotted that first before me. I'm not seeing these yellow hankies. These hankies don't seem to be very bright tonight. They look rather dingy. They must have seen too much rubber pellets on the turf this season. That's a face mask against John Glenn, and that's going to give the Raiders a Bicon Services first down. They're going to mark it.
Tough break.
From the 40. Yeah.
Tough break for John Glenn. They had contained them for a fourth down call, and now first down on the penalty.
Well, we're seeing that's 3 or 4 face mask penalties we've seen from both teams, and both defenses have been tackling high at times here, and you do that, it's going to lead to some more of those 15-yarders. First down and 10, Morgan from the JG 45-yard line. 5 minutes left and a touchdown lead. Pauly to throw over the middle, and the safety, August Camp, number 23, raced up, thought he smelled an interception around the 30-yard line, and nice job of converging there and knocking the ball away from the intended target, number 3, Arlis Ponchak.
And Dave, that's the first incompletion by Hayden Pauly tonight. He is now 5 of 6 for 82 yards, so had been pretty consistent until now.
Consistent and efficient, and still is right now. Only his first ill-fated throw. Second down and 10, 2 receivers on the left, and coming in motion right is Caden Norris, and yeah, there's nobody anywhere near where Pauly just unloaded the football. Kean Barton and Braden Knowlton, the 2 defensive ends, 70 and 79, were providing the pressure, about to sack him, and I think that's a good call there. Pauly, the only one that was there in the neighborhood was one of his offensive linemen.
Yeah, if he'd have thrown it out of bounds, it would have looked better, at least.
Well, I mean, if you throw it out of bounds and get it across the line of scrimmage, I don't think, the officials are going to give you probably every break possible there, but there was really not a whole lot of effort by Pauly.
Yeah, it was definitely intentional. It was intentional on his part to throw an incomplete pass, so probably a good call by the official when you look at the location of where he threw it.
So a couple of mistakes here by the senior quarterback, Hayden Pauly, on back-to-back plays. That'll be a loss of down penalty, so it'll come back to the 50. That's a 5-yard penalty and a loss of down. So a 3rd and 15 coming. Right at the midfield stripe. JG is given a chance here to possibly force Morgan into punting for the first time, but they have to put something together here. Pauly has 4 receivers to work with on this 3rd and 15. Some pressure around the edges, and lobs that one up there right at the 35-yard line. And the open man, again, was Kason Foley, number 8. Did he get forward progress for the first down? That's the question. Morgan Raiders say they got a first down, but the officials have not yet agreed.
I think they're going to measure.
That pass took a good while to get to him, and Foley, number 8, had a good bit of space around him at the time, and he had to kind of come backward a little bit to make that catch and come back to the football, so it's a matter of, the line judges there on that side of the field have the best view of it. And we have another 3 or 4 man conference again. Well, they're holding the football down like they're going to bring the chains out. Haven't seen a chains crew come out onto the field, I don't think, this year that I've...
This will be my first time this year to see a chain gang come out.
But they are making their way out right now with 4:36 to play in this first half. 14-7 Morgan on homecoming night. Your homecoming king and quarterback Hayden Pauly, and the homecoming queen was Gianna Myers. It will be a 4th down and just a couple of inches for the Raiders offense here at the JG just outside the 35.
I'd say we're going to get a dose of Tanner Banks right here, if I was going to guess.
Well, I was going to make the prediction is going to be whoever gets the football is going to have a 2 on their jersey, either 1-2 or 2 2s. And it will be Pauly up under center, and it'll go to Banks as you predicted, and that will be good enough for a 1st down, a gain of a couple to the 33 with forward progress as he knifes his way through there. Knowlton with the stop for John Glenn, but another Bicon Services 1st down. Raiders on 4th and inches. Clock running at 4 minutes, first half. Raiders with the touchdown lead. They scored the game's first points. Banks on a 1-yard run and a Arliss Ponchak 29-yard touchdown pass from Hayden Pauly. And Banks will start out to the right, trying to bounce it back to the middle and hit by about 3 or 4 Muskie tacklers, led by Connor Shoemake, number 12, and finished off by Barton and Carter Cochran, the big 280-pound junior nose tackle there, 56 in the middle after a gain of 1. Another full house backfield here for the Raiders on 2nd and 9. And Tanner Banks will get it again. And he escapes through the left side into the secondary for John Glenn and is just 1.5 yards short of the 1st down after a gain of over 7 yards for Tanner Banks. You know, he gets hit close to the line of scrimmage here, Richard, and it just doesn't seem to matter much.
No, he's just so strong, and he has great momentum as he runs. He runs low to the ground and just really difficult to get to the ground. It takes more than one Muskie to get him down. You don't tackle him by yourself.
And they're going to have to learn to get down a little lower below the waist, too. 3rd down and 2. Ball sitting on the left hash at the 25. And I think Coach Seth Brown is going to think about taking a Zimba Company's timeout, and he will do that. 2nd timeout by the Raiders. They have a 3rd and short coming up from the Muskie 25 with a 14-7 lead, 2:24 remaining in the first half, and we'll step aside here on YRP TV.
Is your son or daughter ready for the next step in their education? Look no farther than Zane State College, located just a short drive away. Zane State College has a history rooted in the values of our hardworking, roll-up-your-sleeves Appalachian community. We are committed to providing top-notch education and real-world skills right here in Southeast Ohio. Call 740-588-5000 and join a community that values tradition, hard work, and the future of your family at Zane State College.
Looking for an incredible deal on a new Ford, Lincoln, or Nissan? Come check out our vastly growing inventory selection and ask us about all the low APR options that are going on right now at Dutro Ford, Lincoln, Nissan.
If a new vehicle isn't in the budget, let us show you a pre-owned alternative that is sure to fit all your needs without breaking the bank. We know with the running from work to practice or games doesn't leave much time for car shopping, so view our full inventory online 24/7 at DutrosAuto.com.
Best of luck to all the coaches and players this year. Have a safe and successful season from all of us at Dutro Ford Lincoln Nissan.
And back on YRP TV, thanks again, too, I didn't mention it also, from Morgan County Media, Keith Spare, longtime friend, media guru here in Morgan County, for some Morgan County info here from the Raiders. A 3rd and 2 as we resume. Banks, the last man through, again breaks 2 or 3 tackles. And a Bicon Services 1st down, gain of 4. Banks running again with those shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. John Glenn had him dead to rights, about 2-3 yards deep.
They did. A John Glenn defender got right to him and couldn't take him down and pick up a 4 for the 1st down.
So the Raiders inching about a yard away from that J&M Electric red zone. They lead at 14-7. John Glenn's got to really buckle up here and keep this from being a 21-7 game at halftime. They trailed 20-7 to Meadowbrook last week, scoring on the final play of the half to avoid the shutout. And Pauly on play action had a man open for a moment, and he's tripped up and taken down. That's Arrington, number 25, with the sack for John Glenn. A huge loss, and Pauly just holding on to that one a little too long. It looked like he had a man out there, maybe Foley, number 8, or Ponchak, number 3. A couple of those guys out there, at least you could have given him a chance. Big defensive play for John Glenn. They'll mark it at the 36. $14-yard loss on first down on that sack for John Glenn, their first of the night. And now Pauly will work with an empty backfield. They'll line up 4 wideouts to that right side. They'll fake the screen, quarterback draw, and Pauly's got lots of daylight around that left side. And that's a nice open field tackle. Ryder Pennington swallows it up and says, "That's enough, Mr. Pauly," as he gets to the 27. Still a gain of 9 on that quarterback draw. Clock running with 40 seconds left. Raiders have still 1 timeout left, and they're not in any kind of a hurry, so I would imagine they're thinking they're going to use up the entire first half and set up a field goal attempt here, it looks like.
I would think so, and they have such a reliable kicker in Jude Garber that they feel pretty good about their chances of knocking one through here right before the end of the half.
Play clock down to 6. 4 wideouts again. Empty backfield for Pauly. Under heavy pressure, trying to escape, won't get away. It's brought down again. That's a sack for Carter Cochran. Number 56 with the stop, the big nose tackle coming in and making a nice couple of defensive plays on this series. And the clock will stop with a half second remaining as the Raiders are right back to the 36-yard line now after a 9-yard loss that they had just, Pauly had just gained back a moment ago.
Huge play by Cochran to basically dash the hopes of a field goal for the Morgan Raiders.
So the final Zimba Brothers timeout taken by the Raiders. 0.5 seconds remain. And they're going to have to draw up some sort of a heave and hope.
I think you just chuck one to the end zone and hope, Dave. That's really all you've got. That's really your play you're going to run probably. Send everybody you can deep to the end zone and maybe come down with one.
Well, the last 2 plays, they've overloaded 4 receivers to one side and solo receiver out to the right. I wouldn't be shocked to see him throw it just to the solo receiver, pick somebody they like one-on-one. I mean, Pennington typically is, I think, John Glenn's best cover man. Now he's coming out here to the near side of the field. Morgan right now is bunching 3 receivers to the short side on this right. They've reset the clock back to 2.5 seconds, but nonetheless, this will be the final play of the half, barring a penalty. 4th down and a parking lot or so here for the Raiders. Looking for 6 points here at the end of the half.
John Glenn just want to knock it down.
Pauly's going to scramble out here to the right. They heave it. And it is batted around. Pennington and both he and the safety August Camp had their hands on it. And it falls down incomplete as the half concludes. So at Raider Stadium, we have homecoming night with homecoming king and quarterback Hayden Pauly and Gianna Myers, the homecoming queen for Morgan High School this year. They and their Raider football team hold a 14-7 advantage over the Little Muskies of John Glenn here after half number 1. Opening drive score for Morgan, capped off by a Tanner Banks 1-yard run. That concluded an 84-yard drive for the Raiders, taking an early 7-0 lead. Muskies stall out, have to punt as Edwards punts into the end zone, and then an 80-yard drive capped off by Arliss Ponchak's 29-yard pass reception from Hayden Pauly. Another Jude Garber point after attempt successful, made it 14-0 Raiders after 1 quarter. And then just a little over 5 minutes into the second, Muskies answer. Owen Edwards finding Ryder Pennington in the left side of the end zone for a 6-yard TD pass and a Caden West extra point. And that's where we stand right now. 14-7 Raiders over the Little Muskies. Richard Hall will be tallying up the stats as he feverishly does right now. And we'll return with more in our halftime show. Another Surgent Construction scoreboard update coming for you as well. Thanks for being with us on YRP TV on our YouTube channel, as we'll bring you back to halftime festivities here on homecoming night. And we'll have the bands on as well from John Glenn and Morgan when we return on YRP TV.
Welcome to House of Pain, where tattoos are more than ink. They're personal stories, bold statements, and lasting art. Our skilled artists specialize in custom work that's as unique as you are, from clean, fine lines to full-color masterpieces. For a fun twist, try your luck with our gumball tattoo machine. Drop in a coin and get a random design to spark your next piece. Whether you come with a vision or let fate decide, we've got you. Call 740-455-3240 to book or stop by today.
Doan Ford is your destination for the ultimate Ford experience. Discover the thrill of the open road in a brand new Ford vehicle. Experience cutting-edge technology and safety features designed with you in mind. Whether it's the versatile Ford Escape SUV, the powerful Ford F-150, or the stylish Ford Bronco, you'll drive away with confidence, knowing you've made the right choice. Quality, service, and trust. That's the Doan Ford experience.
At Village Hardware and Rental in Barnesville, we've got everything you need for homeowner, contractor, and commercial jobs. From trusted Milwaukee tools and everyday hardware to pro-grade Valspar paint, trusted color you can count on. Plus, we offer paint mixing, key cutting, special orders, and commercial services too. And now, introducing our officially open firearms and ammo department. Fully stocked, trusted, and convenient. Whether you're working, improving, or protecting, Village Hardware and Rental is your one-stop shop. Drop by at 265 South Chestnut Street, Barnesville. Village Hardware and Rental. We make it easy to build the world around you.
If you're having any problems with your heating system, you want someone who will be there right away to help. This is Russ Abels. At Abels, we provide emergency service for any brand of heating cooling system 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call us. We promise to get you up and running quickly and professionally. And if you ever need a replacement, we'll help you save energy and money with a new high-efficiency system, and we will do a flawless installation. If you need help with your heating, call Abels.
School's back. For some, things may feel overwhelming. Allwell is here to help you find a healthy balance. Our behavioral health services can keep your mind on track, while our primary care services can keep your body healthy. Our mission is to help people feel better, think more clearly, make good decisions, and have healthy relationships. We have offices in Zanesville, Coshocton, New Lexington, McConnellsville, Caldwell, and now on Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge. Visit us at allwell.org. Be well, stay well, all well.
Need help finding a job or recruiting reliable workers? Action Total Staffing is your trusted local staffing partner. We work hard to connect skilled candidates with employers across southeastern Ohio. Action Total Staffing provides industrial, administrative, temp to hire, direct hire, and seasonal staffing solutions. Since 1994, our staff has offered personalized screenings and in-person interviews to match top talent with great opportunities. Visit our Zanesville location to launch your next chapter with Action Total Staffing.
Shriver's Pharmacy is a proud supporter of Ohio high school sports, wishing all area athletes, coaches, and parents a healthy and successful season. When you play, play with heart. Local and independent since 1979. Shriver's Pharmacy, because we care.
Founded in 1987 with hard work, dedication, and a commitment to quality, the Zemba Companies has grown from a small family operation into a trusted leader in excavation, trucking, concrete, and environmental services. Built on a foundation of safety, respect, accountability, teamwork, loyalty, and grit, the Zemba Companies continues to evolve while staying true to our core values, always putting people and service first. Whatever the job, our team is here to help you simply just do. Call us today at 740-452-1880 or visit our website at www.zembacompanies.com.
I'm Ted from TK Auto Service at 2303 Glen Highway.
And I'm Julie. We've been in business for 26 years, proudly serving this community with reliable and trustworthy auto services.
Our customers are like family, and we are committed to keeping your vehicle running smoothly.
Whether it's a quick oil change or a major repair, we're here for you. We appreciate your trust and support.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram to stay updated and connected.
Thanks for choosing TK Auto Services. We're here because of you.
I'm Ted from TK Auto
Back on
Service
YRP
at
TV.
2303.
Thanks again to Brett Klein and Mike Mitchell. On our video crew, Dave Davidson, Dr. Richard Hall. In the booth here at Raiders Stadium on homecoming night in Morgan County. And the Raiders so far relatively pleased with their performance with a 14-7 advantage. Morgan kind of stopped themselves a bit in that second quarter.
They really did. Well, they had 3 negative running plays of 2, I guess, of -10 and -1. But overall, for the first half, for the Morgan Raiders, they've carried the ball 16 times for 101 yards. Tanner Banks is leading the way with 11 carries for 99 yards. And then through the air, been very consistent, 7 of 9 for 97 yards for the Morgan Raiders. Cason Foley's had a nice night catching the football so far, 3 catches for 48 yards. So Ponchek also has 1 catch for 29 yards to lead the Raiders. But so they've done a really nice job just controlling this game offensively. The way they play, they have the ability to run the football, be successful, and actually shrink this game and really limit the offensive opportunities for John Glenn unless John Glenn can get some stops. They've got to really eliminate Morgan getting a lot of first downs per possession and try to get the football back.
Well, we've seen some tackling problems, particularly for the Muskie defense, and some of it, is a few newer players being inserted into the lineup from injury here recently, but for the most part, still a fairly experienced defensive group. This Tanner Banks is just a tough customer to deal with at 195 pounds, and again, that low center of gravity, just not a real tall player, and boy, he gets those shoulders square, and those legs are moving. I mean, he's running with forward bulldozing power.
Yeah, once he gets going, he's very difficult to get to the ground, and John Glenn's had a really hard time doing that. And I tell you, it just comes down to the lines, the offensive line, defensive line in the trenches. Who's going to win that battle? And I think thus far, the Morgan offensive line's winning that battle. Doesn't mean it can't change in the second half, but thus far, it looks like Morgan has the advantage there. Looking at John Glenn statistically here in the first half, they have 15 carries for 51 yards. Reese Metzger's leading the way for the Muskies, 11 carries, 39 yards. Owen Edwards through the air, 5 of 8 for 19 yards, with Ryder Pennington leading them with 1 catch for 10 yards as the leader for the John Glenn offense. So obviously, if you're John Glenn, you got to come out and get a stop right away because John Glenn had the first possession of the game, so Morgan's going to have the football. So John Glenn defensively really has to establish themselves early in the third quarter and get the ball back. And I've said athletically that I think the first 3 to 5 minutes of the second half is really a key in any athletic contest, and this is no different tonight for the John Glenn Little Muskies.
Well, there's the 2 newer players inserted into the offensive line here for Matt Edwards, and let's face it, teams right now, too, I think defensively, they're looking at this team and they're focusing on number 8, Metzger, and that's priority 1 is keeping him contained. Meadowbrook did that last week. We're seeing Morgan do that so far with only 39 rushing yards for Metzger right now. And I think they're daring Edwards to distribute the ball elsewhere, and there's not a lot happening outside of that. Pennington's had a few moments of brilliance. Dominic Bates with a run or 2 here and there, but right now defenses are daring John Glenn to go somewhere else besides just handing it off to number 8.
Right, it's a tough call the second half. You really want to keep trying to establish the run with Metzger, but I don't know how long you can do that unless you can really pick up some big gains. You may have to change your game plan just a bit and put the ball in the air, but that's dangerous as well. That's not, if it's not your identity, well, you hate to go away from your game plan and what you've done all year. However, the way Morgan plays offensively, they can really get an advantage, maintain the football for long periods of time, put long drives together, and then John Glenn doesn't even see the football very much offensively, and that's a problem as well.
And Hayden Pauley, let's give him credit for Morgan. He's proven, at least in the first half, that he's not just a running quarterback and one that just hands it off to Tanner Banks either.
No, he throws a nice ball down the field, and like I said, he's had a nice first half, 7 of 9 for 97 yards, and Foley's done a great job being one of his very reliable receivers tonight. Someone we haven't heard much from tonight is McGuire Winter. We haven't heard his number called very much, but had a great game last week, so we may expect to hear his name the second half.
He's had, I think, a pass reception and a run in that first half of play, but you're right, we haven't seen much of him, and as a matter of fact, he wasn't in the last couple of offensive series either. Don't know if there's something happening there or an injury we don't know about perhaps, or they're trying to ease him off of some duties here tonight perhaps. We're not sure. We will see what transpires in the second half there for that. Later on in our live stream broadcast here on YRP TV, we'll have our Lock 9 Pizza Muskie Player of the Game, sponsored by Lock 9 Pizza in Duncan Falls, and our Guernsey-Muskingum Electric Cooperative Power Lineman of the Game, selected from either Morgan or John Glenn, as well later on toward the end of our contest tonight. Surgent Construction scoreboard update right now. The games we have reported on at the moment: New Lexington all over Maysville at the half, 48-7. New Lexington with no resistance there through the first half. They'll have a running clock and a quick second half there from New Lexington. And the Panthers are well on their way to win number 7 in as many weeks. Union Local with a 34-0 halftime lead on Cambridge at McFarland Stadium in Cambridge. Meadowbrook leads Coshocton 28-10. That's a halftime score. So the Colts, after scoring 41 on John Glenn last week, they have 28 on a Coshocton team that I think only has one victory so far this season. They're in a bit of a rebuilding phase right now as well. Ridgewood 41-0 on Sandy Valley. Sandy Valley's Cardinals having a tough season. Talk about tough seasons. The Riverview Black Bears have yet to score a point through 6.5 games, and they are trailing at home now. Tri-Valley has rung up 52 points on them in the first half, and they will be Tri-Valley on their way to another victory. And poor Riverview is just taking it on the chin, taking some haymakers week after week. Sheridan 14, Philo 0. That's at the half at Sam Hatfield Stadium in Philo. A little bit of a surprise there. Philo not yet to get on the board, but I think that game expected to be fairly close. Crooksville with a 12-6 lead on West Muskingum at the Tornadoes home football site. Indian Valley 26, Caraway 12. That's near halftime. Zanesville having a tough year as well. Licking Valley right now 37-0 over the Blue Devils. That's at halftime in Newark. And let's see, what else have we got? Newcomerstown, they continue to roll. That small school has had a resurgence in their football program the last 3 or 4 seasons, and they're rolling up 46 points on TCC, leading 46-14 at the half there up in New Philadelphia. And Malvern 35, Buckeye Trail 8. That's at the half as well from Malvern. Claymont leads Tusky Valley 21-0. So there's your Surgent Construction scoreboard update here on YRP TV. We'll come back. More of our halftime festivities from homecoming night here at Morgan High School at Raider Stadium. We'll return in just a moment.
Honestly, we've all been there. That place where it's past anxiety, past focus, where even reaching out to your closest friend feels too hard. I'm Crystal Reynolds with Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions. We understand how fast those feelings can take over, especially with the stress of work, family, and life. That's why we've opened a mental health urgent care clinic in Cambridge, Ohio, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No appointment needed. Just walk in. Come in today. Feel better today. Call us, Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions, Mental Health Urgent Care.
For 129 years, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance has proudly provided coverage for homes, farms, and families across Ohio. Our commitment to reliable, affordable insurance is something you can count on. Agents who write for us can be found at patronsbuckeye.com. Whether you're protecting your home, your land, or your legacy, we offer personalized service and true hometown care. Trust a neighbor. Trust experience. Trust trust Patrons Buckeye Mutual. Visit us at 16050 McConnellsville Road in Caldwell or find us on Facebook. Coverage that cares, close to home.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
It's that time of year again. Football season is upon us. Hey, Mark Kelly here with Bicon Services, wishing all our local teams a great and successful year. As your premier commercial building contractor, Bicon Services is ready to tackle everything from small facility renovations to large industrial expansions. We're here to handle all your commercial and industrial needs under one roof. So while you're out there scoring the winning touchdown, let us work on making your next commercial project a success. Bicon Services, building the future one project at a time.
Is your son or daughter ready for the next step in their education? Look no farther than Zane State College, located just a short drive away. Zane State College has a history rooted in the values of our hardworking, roll-up-your-sleeves Appalachian community. We are committed to providing top-notch education and real-world skills right here in Southeast Ohio. Call 740-588-5000 and join a community that values tradition, hard work, and the future of your family at Zane State College.
Looking for an incredible deal on a new Ford, Lincoln, or Nissan? Come check out our vastly growing inventory selection and ask us about all the low APR options that are going on right now at Dutro Ford, Lincoln, Nissan.
If a new vehicle isn't in the budget, let us show you a pre-owned alternative that is sure to fit all your needs without breaking the bank. We know with the running from work to practice or games doesn't leave much time for car shopping, so view our full inventory online 24/7 at dutrosauto.com.
Best of luck to all the coaches and players this year. Have a safe and successful season from all of us at Dutro Ford, Lincoln, Nissan.
Welcome to House of Pain, where tattoos are more than ink. They're personal stories, bold statements, and lasting art. Our skilled artists specialize in custom work that's as unique as you are, from clean, fine lines to full-color masterpieces. For a fun twist, try your luck with our gumball tattoo machine. Drop in a coin and get a random design to spark your next piece. Whether you come with a vision or let fate decide, we've got you. Call 740-455-3240 to book or stop by today.
Thanks for joining us on YRP TV on our live stream coverage here tonight of high school football in week number 6. Morgan 14, John Glenn 7 here at the half. Close to the conclusion of the homecoming festivities here at halftime. We were going to talk with John Glenn golf coach Chad Aricchio. Didn't make the game tonight, and but he did send me a text here just a little while ago before we went on the air, and we wanted to say a congratulations to the John Glenn golf team. They were knocked out this past Monday. They had a 27-5 MVL record this year, second to Riverview, and Riverview Golf right now is really won the MVL and is really playing well, and I guess also it sounds like has a real shot to really challenge and win the state in their division as well. So we wish the Riverview golf team good luck as well. But the John Glenn golf team, a great season. Really one of the bright spots, Chad said, that the golf team had this year was winning the Meadowbrook Invitational at Cambridge Country Club. The team shot a 300, and they actually beat Riverview, which was one of the two teams, Riverview and Indian Valley, that advanced out of the district to the state golf meet. I think that's happening this weekend or next weekend. Not sure.
I'm not sure.
One of these 2 weekends here. John Glenn was knocked out Monday in the districts at Eagle Sticks, Riverview and Indian Valley advancing. Oh, okay. They'll be at the D2 state championship. That occurs on Monday and Tuesday, so that is this week. Great season for the Muskie golfers, and Coach Aricchio extremely proud of his John Glenn golf program and very proud of the 3 seniors, C.J. Dolan, Hayden Genser, and Cooper Briggs. And so congratulations, John Glenn golf team, 27-5 overall record. Got a win against eventual East District champ Riverview, and I know Chad's used to, having playing to the very end, playing in that final weekend of golf. He's had a ton of great teams over the years, a ton of great individual golfers too, as well. They just seem to reload year after year, and I know he's disappointed of not being there and being able to get to the state this year. But congratulations, Coach Chad Aricchio and the John Glenn golf team for another great season. A couple of minutes remaining. They've tacked on here at our halftime here before we get the second half underway. And let's see, a report from our pal Melvin Pursuit, who was down at Harding Stadium in Steubenville. Where else? Right now, late in the first half, last report, Steubenville leading Farrell 16-12.
Yeah, if you're Morgan, you're going to come out and try to establish yourself this third quarter. Again, like we talked about off the air during the halftime break, if you're Morgan, you're going to come down, probably run the football and maintain your mix. May throw a little bit, but I think we're going to see a lot of Tanner Banks and force John Glenn to try to take him away. And if they can go down and get a score, and make it real tough for John Glenn, and I can see a large dose of the running game with Tanner Banks here in the second half, and just if they can pick up first downs, they'll just shrink this game and really limit the possessions of the Muskies. And if you're John Glenn, you got to really come out, get that stop right away, and try to do something offensively. They've been very stagnant offensively tonight. Had a real difficult time moving the football. Did come up with a score down there to cut this thing to 14-7, but probably to have a legitimate chance tonight has to play much better offensively in the second half. And a lot of that's going to come down to the offensive line of John Glenn, if they can just establish the running game for Reese Metzger and company and just pick up some first downs. So the strategies are basically the same, but John Glenn really is going to have to establish the run. They've had limited success on the ground, as we said there earlier during our report statistically. Reese Metzger leading the Muskies, 11 carries, 39 yards, and if you're John Glenn, you simply need more of Reese Metzger on the ground. And then, offensively through the air, if Owen Edwards can find some receivers and involve Ryder Pennington and Jensen Perry in the offense and pick up some yards through the air, that would be nothing but a benefit to John Glenn.
Mm-hmm. John Glenn's been, had to plug a couple of holes in that offensive line. As we mentioned, Dylan Southerton over in the left tackle spot, a junior, and another junior, Drew White, who has been inserted into the right side of the offensive line. So you got a couple of sophomores there, and Rowdy Zimbu and Owen Abels, who got a lot of experience last year. But other than Jimmy Boyd, the one senior in that offensive line, this is an offensive line for Matt Edwards that's getting a lot of on-the-job training right here in the 2025 football season.
It really is, and they're going to continue to grow and get better, and it just takes time sometimes to come together when you make changes on your offensive line or anywhere for that matter. But if you're John Glenn, you just keep plugging away and hopefully can put some points on the board here in the second half and put together a good defensive effort and give yourself a chance to win this game tonight. Great facility down here for Morgan. First time I've been down here. Mm-hmm. Beautiful new facility. So great place to call a football game and a great place to watch a football game.
Certainly is. Want to thank all the Morgan athletic administrative crew. Valentine Insurance kickoff to start the second half is out of bounds by Caden West, so the Raiders will start at their own 35-yard line to start half number 2. Want to give another hello out there to a couple of our favorite listeners and live stream viewers, Matt and Rhonda Haynes, watching tonight. Thanks a lot. Glad you're with us. And Danny Ingold over in Danny and Robin and Claysville, which we drove by a few hours ago in the beautiful sunset on our scenic trip south into Morgan County. Won't be quite as scenic. It'll be really dark going back home, but the drive down is nice. 14-7 game, a 1st and 10 for the Raiders now. And Hayden Pauley, senior QB, will fake the handoff, keep it himself around the left end, and he's got some nice daylight, a gain of 7. And you can understand why the Muskie defense keyed in on number 22, as a couple of Muskie players hit him, but that run option, Pauley did very nicely there to pick up 7 on the first play from scrimmage in the second half.
Did a great job concealing that. The defense all ran to Tanner Banks, which can't blame him for that. And then
So would I.
Hayden Pauley, great play there to pick up 7 yards.
For sure. 4 wideouts now for Pauley with Banks to his right. Looking to the right side, a quick throw to the outside flat. And that is caught. That's the first catch of the night for number 24, Connor Klaus, a sophomore at 5'10". It'll be just a gain of 1 as his forward progress got him there, but he stumbled back in a good open field hit by Owen Edwards, who is playing at the corner spot on the left side. So a 3rd and 1 for the Raiders. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure how many 3rd downs these Raiders have converted, but it's more than 50% so far. 2 receivers near side right, 1 to the left for Pauley, and gives it to Tanner Banks. And a couple of Muskies had him by the shirt tails in the backfield, but as usual, Banks escapes and turns what was about zip into a 9-yard run and a Bicon Services first down Raiders.
And that breaks the 100-yard mark for Tanner Banks. 12 carries, 108 yards thus far.
And about half of those, close to half of those, on one play on their opening drive of the game. Raiders lead it by a touchdown. Early in this 3rd quarter, Muskie defense desperately needs a stop here. They cannot afford to go down 2 scores. And Pauley trying to escape. Finally, Kieran Arrington brings him down in the backfield. That'll be a loss of 3 back to the 50. A couple of Muskies hit him first. Maybe Knowlton there, 79, one of the first guys to hit him. They made him change direction a couple of times, and Pauley unable to escape.
The Jungland defense has done a great job containing Hayden Pauley on the ground. He's 6 carries for 3 yards, so they've contained him and bottled him up pretty well. If they can just do the same thing with Tanner Banks, that certainly would help the Muskie defense.
4 receivers now for Hayden Pauley on a 2nd and 13 from the midfield stripe. Blitz inside by Morrow. Flushed out of the pocket is Pauley. He escapes tacklers, ducks another man at the 45. That's a Bicon Services first down for Hayden Pauley, the homecoming king and quarterback of the Raiders. Picks up 14, maybe get 15. And the chains moving again for the Raiders. This 6'2", 170-pound senior quarterback has pretty much had his way for the most part here tonight, for the exception of a couple of bad plays. Tyson Orwig, number 12, to the near side of the field, along with Gage Roberts, the sophomore. 2 receivers, 2 more out to the wide left side. Banks on a draw play. Has some space, ducks a tackler into the 30, the 20, the 10. Finally brought down a touchdown-saving tackle by Ryder Pennington. Bicon Services first down as the Raiders once again in the J&M Electric red zone. And a gain of 25 for Tanner Banks.
"13 carries, unofficially 133 yards for Tanner Banks, and we're in the 3rd quarter.
He is definitely a problem for the maroon and white. Morgan trying to go up 2 scores. And Pauley will fake the handoff to Banks, and he'll be spun and dragged down, and there's a hanky thrown by the back referee. Flings that one high into the air, and this is going to come back against... Nope, it's not. It's going to be against John Glenn.
Not sure what that call is. I haven't seen that signal very often.
What is that signal? The arms were straight out. Is that illegal participation? I'm not up on my football officiating, sorry.
Well, I know most signals, but I don't see that one very often. I'm not sure what it is.
Referee's explaining it now to the JG captain. Well, the penalty is going to take it. I'm assuming half the distance to the 5. Maybe he was, I don't know. We've had a few odd pauses here in this game. Was that a sideline warning, perhaps? I don't know. They're coming over now. Well, they're bringing off, is that Kieran Arrington? Yeah. So Arrington, I'm assuming the penalty is on Arrington, but the ball is still at the 10-yard line. They haven't marked off any penalty yardage. Am I losing my mind here?
I don't think so.
They started at the 10, did they not? Okay, now they're moving it to the 5. A half the distance penalty, or a 5-yard penalty, still not exactly sure what it is. The referee explaining once again to Matt Edwards. He's done a lot of talking tonight. Clock showing 9:24 to play third quarter. Raiders up 14-7 and looking to make it a 2-touchdown lead once again. And Hayden Pauley and company will go to work. 4 receivers, 2 on each side here for Pauley with Banks in the backfield with him. Donning the pink socks and wristbands, and Banks will lead the way for Pauley, the quarterback, and Connor Shoemake wraps him up and throws him down, but Pauley with some forward progress to the 2. Second and goal in the J&M Electric red zone here for the Morgan Raiders. They'll go with that 3 running back set. They bring Devin Waggy as an extra blocker, number 66 in the backfield with Banks, and they give it to Banks straight ahead into the line. The pile bottled up just short of the goal line. So it'll be a 3rd and goal now for Morgan as Cornelius is in there, number 77, along with a few handful of others for the Fish.
Yeah, great push by the defensive line there to make that tackle and stop the touchdown, but he did pick up 1 yard to the 1, I believe they're giving him credit for.
The unfortunate thing for John Glenn is that the Raiders now have 2 more plays yet, just to gain a few inches. Again, the 3 running backs. And straight ahead for Banks. Kean Barton was in there, got a hold of Banks from behind. Did they keep him out of the end zone? I think they did. Was that a 4th down? John Glenn celebrating like they've just made a 4th down stop. So unless they're saying 1st down John Glenn, I am confused as all get out.
They had 3rd down on the board.
It's 3rd down on the board, and I think it was 3rd down over on the chains crew as well. So the play, apparently the penalty play counted, and I assume that Morgan's not really putting up, Seth Brown and the company is not, they're not putting up, any resistance too, so they apparently knew it was 4th down as well, but nobody else knew. So it's 1st down and 10 for the Muskies. Backed up in the shadow of their own goal line. Here's a throw out to the sideline. Pennington has a grab at the 30. The Bicon Services 1st down, John Glenn. As we look at this High Street Seneca instant replay coming up.
Great throw and catch.
Pennington just flat out one-on-one. Nice throw by Edwards. Good timing throw as he beat Gage Roberts. And that is one of the few successful pass plays we've seen from the JG offense tonight.
Great play by John Glenn to create some space.
Edwards with a quick throw. That'll be Wolford with his first catch. The freshman had a lot of playing time last week. Makes a grab, but it's going to be for a short gain. Call it 2. Keegan Wolford, number 7. Making a grab. Now we'll see Dominic Bates and Ryder Pennington return as Jensen Perry and Wolford will leave the lineup on 2nd down and 8 from the 35. Already nearly halfway through this third quarter, John Glenn on their first possession of the night as the Raiders chew up some time, and 64 9/10 of a yard on their opening drive, stalling inside the 1. That's a nice carry for a gain of 7 for John Glenn's Reese Metzger. I'm sure Matt Edwards would love to see another steady diet of number 8 here in this second half and have the luxury of just pounding away with him. And Pennington missing the snap count there, a rare mistake by the senior. And that'll be a 5-yard penalty, moving it back to the 35. So right back to a 3rd and 8, which was a 3rd and 3 a moment ago, and that's a big hurt. So that probably changes the play call here for Matt Edwards. 3rd and 8 Muskies from their own 35, trailing 14-7. 5.5 to go in this third quarter. Edwards with good protection rolls out to his right. Lots of hankies coming in. Dominic Bates a catch at the 46, out near midfield, but 2 or 3 hankies were thrown from the backfield, and that probably means the protection was a little too good. And it is. Holding on JG. So scratch a 15-yard first down pass. And now we're talking 3rd and 20-something. And they'll move the football back to the 25. It'll be 3rd and 18. Clock showing 5:25 third quarter. Muskies bent but didn't break. That's the good news for John Glenn on this Raider opening drive, stopping Tanner Banks twice inside the 1-yard line. On a 4th down that we didn't realize was a 4th down. Everybody else in the stadium thought it was still 3rd down. Edwards flush from the pocket. He's going to tuck it and run it. It's nice yardage, about 6. Up near the original first down mark. He slid down and then he got walloped as he was sliding into second base, and he is still down on the sideline taking a knee right now. Not sure where he got hit, but it was a full speed collision.
I think they're going to stop play and check him out just for a second. Hopefully he's okay.
Still on one knee over there by the John Glenn sideline. So a Zimba Company's injury timeout here for Owen Edwards momentarily. He is up on his feet now. And probably doesn't make much difference. On a 4th down and about 11 or so, I imagine we'll see Jensen Perry punt it away anyway.
Yeah, I think you have to here. I mean, you're still in this game, and you can't risk anything here, so a punt is the logical decision. I'm sure that's what John Glenn's going to do.
So Perry is back in punt formation. He'll stand back around his 20. Raiders don't have anybody back deep to receive it yet. Cason Foley, number 8, is the one dropping back a little bit. Now he's going to drop back even further. Perry with a little rugby-style punt, and this one watermelons high into the air around the 35, taking a Muskie bounce all the way back inside the 28 to the 27. That'll be down by Muskies Dominic Bates. So a pretty good punt by Jensen Perry, his first kicking effort tonight. And the clock shows 4:16. Third quarter, still a 14-7 advantage here for the homecoming Raiders.
And if you're John Glenn, that defensive stance on the last possession was outstanding. And they've proven now they can stop the Raiders' run game. And so now if they can just do that again, and they're right back in this thing.
Well, John Glenn has won 16 straight games in this series and 19 of the last 20. The last Raider win against John Glenn was 21 years ago, believe it or not. A 14-0 win, that by our Morgan Raiders stat guru Keith Spare. The Raiders are near breaking that drought here tonight. There's another good Tanner Banks run around the outside right, and that's another Bicon Services first down Morgan after a gain of 14. Boy, Banks has he has some major chunk yardage here tonight.
16 carries, 148 yards unofficially, and he just runs in droves in terms of yardage.
Well, and that's his at least fourth, maybe fifth run of over 10 yards or more.
Yeah, we've got runs of 24, 25, 14, just to name a few.
And the 48 on the opening drive. Pauly with the fake handoff to Banks. And Carter Cochran, the big nose tackle, will bring him down just at the line of scrimmage. Actually, he'll lose a yard, so give him a tackle for loss. About a half yard. Cochran's come in. He's done some nice job, some nice things here in the last couple of defensive stops here for the middle of that JGD.
He's done a great job. He's made his presence felt tonight defensively. So he's done a really nice job.
Yeah, usually on that the front three there, number 70, Kean Barton, we're usually calling his name on tackles a lot of the time. Knowlton's had 3 or 4 here tonight. Second down 10 Raiders from their own 42. Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Flag comes in right at the snap of the play. And that's a pass out to the right flat, and that's caught. And the Raiders' Tyson Orwig with his first catch, but I don't think it's going to count. Illegal motion against the Raiders. Not sure who that was. Flag was thrown immediately at the snap of the ball. I didn't really see anyone take off early, but some sort of oddity happened right there. That'll move it back to the 37. A lot of penalties in this game here from both teams. You know, in week number 7, usually a lot of this stuff is cleaned up in the second half of the season, but boy, both teams have not done themselves any favors.
47 yards of penalties for Morgan tonight, unofficially.
And John Glenn has at least that much.
Yep, very similar.
Pretty close.
Very similar in penalties tonight.
We've seen several, been 3 or 4 face mask penalties, a pass interference. So we've had some 15-yard chunk penalties here from both teams tonight. Under 2:20 to go on a 2nd and 15, setting up a middle screen for Banks. Banks is going to be ridden by Kieran Arrington, put a saddle on him and rode him down for a gain of a couple, 2 or 3 yards. So if they can't bring him down, in front of him at the legs, which they've struggled to do tonight, they're going to ride horsey back for a little bit and bring him down that way. 3rd and 12. Pauly again will go with Banks to his right side, 4 wideouts. 2 on each side on a 3rd and 12 from their own 40. Pauly to throw, good protection, again throwing to the outside right. I think his receiver, Arlis Ponchak there, number 3, went to make a cut and slipped on his initial cut step. And the timing of the pass was off, and Hayden Pauly acknowledging my bad. So maybe a mix-up in the route.
Yeah, it was a timing route, and on the slip, it just threw all the timing off, and no chance for the reception there.
Well, we've not seen many mistakes by the Morgan QB tonight. He has taken the homecoming king honors, and he has thrown very efficiently, and he's run it pretty solidly, too. He's been a nice secondary runner to Tanner Banks also. And back to punted away for Morgan is Jude Garber. Whoops, look out. That's going to be some early movement.
Offsides for John Glenn, it appears.
So a 5-yard penalty. Against John Glenn. That'll move it up to the 45-yard line. So now a 4th down and 7. Still going to be a punt situation here for Jude Garber. Reese Metzger is the deep man for John Glenn, back at his own 23. And Garber about 14 yards behind the line. Long snap back. John Glenn charges in. This is a very high wobbling kick. Bouncing short at the 31-yard line. Takes a Morgan Raider bounce about another 10 yards backward and down to around the 22. So a nice punt by Garber. That'll be about 33 yards, no return. And more importantly for John Glenn, they have avoided disaster so far in the third quarter, although they have been close to the edge here. They've went to the edge of the cliff and looked down and somehow stayed on their feet so far.
They really have, but they're hanging in there. You know, they're one good drive, one good possession away from tying this game up. So, you know, there's an opportunity here for the John Glenn Muskies if they can just put something together, a little bit of consistency and just move the football, plenty of time, and just be patient.
You know, the one thing, I mean, they had the pass there from inside the 1-yard line on the previous drive to Pennington for 30 yards. Other than that, they have not really had any plays that have forced this Raider defense to spread out and stretch out a little bit. They are crowding the box, and Edwards is going to throw deep again, this time looking for number 3. That was intended for John Glenn receiver Reed Howard. Nice defense on that far side, I think. Looked like Hayden Pauley again, and on it, number 2.
And
broke
Reed,
it up.
I'm sorry, Dave, but Reed was open for just a half a second. He had about a half a step there and then just couldn't pull it in. I like the play, though, for John Glenn to take the shot, trying to create some offense.
Well, they've done that here on their previous drive, so they were successful with Pennington. And a good throw this time, too, by Edwards for Reed Howard. Just didn't go. 4 wide receivers on 2nd and 10 for the Muskies. A draw play. Metzger coming around the left tackle. Ducks one man at the line of scrimmage. Sprinting outside. Gets the 30-35. Is that going to be a hold or a face mask? Ryder Pennington, I think, might be the guilty party. I would say the officiating crew's arms have to start, they have to be getting tired a little bit. They have reached in their back pockets a lot tonight.
Yeah, there have been a lot of penalties.
Yeah, holding against John Glenn. So Metzger's roughly 14, 15-yard first down run is negated by another miscue.
50 yards and penalties for the Muskies also. Very similar in terms of mistakes tonight between both teams.
We'll see the junior Dylan Southerden come off the field now from left tackle, and he'll be spelled by Kean Barton, normally playing on defensive end. He's going to come in and play offensive tackle now on this 2nd and 15. Under a minute to go in this third quarter. 14-7 Raiders on top of the Muskies. John Glenn has moved the ball a little bit at times here. It's been back and forth, but Muskies have trailed all the way from the opening possession by the Raiders. Edwards out of the pistol on 2nd and 15. Gives it to Metzger. He's got some daylight around the right end. Nice 10-yard pickup or so, maybe 11. They'll mark him down around the 28-yard line. 4 yards short of the first down. 11-yard pickup for Metzger. That'll probably take us to the final play of this third quarter. So the final seconds will run off, and the Raiders, as they did at halftime, will continue their 1-touchdown lead, 14-7 over John Glenn, as we get ready to start quarter number 4 here from Raider Stadium on homecoming night in Morgan. Fourth quarter of action on YRP TV coming up.
Doan Ford is your destination for the ultimate Ford experience. Discover the thrill of the open road in a brand new Ford vehicle. Experience cutting-edge technology and safety features designed with you in mind. Whether it's the versatile Ford Escape SUV, the powerful Ford F-150, or the stylish Ford Bronco, you'll drive away with confidence, knowing you've made the right choice. Quality, service, and trust. That's the Doan Ford experience.
At Village Hardware and Rental in Barnesville, we've got everything you need for homeowner, contractor, and commercial jobs. From trusted Milwaukee tools and everyday hardware to pro-grade Valspar paint, trusted color you can count on. Plus, we offer paint mixing, key cutting, special orders, and commercial services too. And now, introducing our officially open firearms and ammo department. Fully stocked, trusted, and convenient. Whether you're working, improving, or protecting, Village Hardware and Rental is your one-stop shop. Drop by at 265 South Chestnut Street, Barnesville. Village Hardware and Rental. We make it easy to build the world around you.
Back on Wire PTV, Dave Davidson and Richard Hall, Brett Klein and Mike Mitchell on our Wire PTV live stream crew. Thanks, guys. We'll start quarter number 4, and we'll start with a penalty. What else? Let's start it with another yellow hanky, 5 yards backward for John Glenn. A false start by the Muskie offense to start quarter number 4, down a touchdown. And while the officials conference once again, we've had several of those tonight. Our Surgeon Construction high school scoreboard. New Lexington, no problems tonight in the fourth quarter. 54-7 over Maysville. That game of running clock. Maysville led 48-7 at the half. Philo has answered in the second half here. They trailing at home to the Sheridan Generals. 14-7 Sheridan now in the fourth quarter of play there. Meadowbrook, no problems with Coshocton. They have rolled up 42 points so far and 41 against John Glenn's defense last week. They lead Coshocton 42-17. And they have waved off the penalty. They had a false start a moment ago. Now they've waved it off. Not sure I've seen that before either. But a 3rd and 4 play on a play fake to Metzger. Wide open is Dominic Bates in the left flat, racing down the far sideline. Finally knocked out in Raider territory, and another flag comes flying in late around the 35. That's 30-plus yards for Dominic Bates on the pass reception, and you can probably tack on 15 more here. Well, we're still waiting. Okay, so I guess the ball was out. Well, they started at the 35-yard line. So apparently Bates stepped out at the 35. So a pass play of about 27 yards, tack on 15 more. And now the ball at the 20-yard line. First down and 10 in the J&M Electric red zone for John Glenn, now trying to even this score, trailing 14-7. Three wide receivers for Owen Edwards. Bates is in as a blocking back for Metzger around the left side, and he's got a lot of daylight there again. A good first down run, stepping out just short of the 10. I believe just short of the first down. No. Nope. Vicon Services first down and goal in the J&M Electric red zone at the 9-yard line.
Great run by Metzger. Pick up the first down.
Well, there was a lot of room over there. Kean Barton, Jimmy Boyd opened up a large area of acreage for Reese Metzger to run off 11 more yards. Two receivers left, one to the right. Motion man is Jensen Perry. And a mix-up there. Edwards looking to hand off, but turns a busted play into a nice 4-yard run to the 5. He was looking for Metzger on his left side, and Metzger went right.
Yeah, he turned, and there wasn't anybody there. So Owen Edwards, to his credit, senior experience, just brought it back and took off with it and picked up 4 yards. Great play by him on what could have been a huge mistake.
Well, fortunately, there weren't too many navy blue jerseys there to greet him at the time he was about to look for his running back. So a bit of a break for John Glenn there. See if the offensive line can still put together a forward surge. With a minute gone in this fourth quarter, John Glenn trying to tie it up here down a touchdown. 2 backs for Edwards. Gives it off. This is Bates. Bates plunges up the center. He's got a touchdown. And the Muskies with a Kemp Insurance Agency touchdown to make it 14-13 with the extra point pending to tie the game. Caden West now with an all-important point after attempt. And an important time for Muskie line to keep the Raiders from blocking this kick. Dominic Bates, the snapper, to Owen Edwards, the holder. A little bit of a high snap. Edwards, nice job getting it down, and the kick is true to form for Caden West, and he knocks in his second point after attempt. And we are tied up at 14 apiece here early in this fourth quarter. So some new life now for the visitors as the maroon and white answer on that drive, aided by another couple of penalties, but a nice surge by that offensive line, and Reese Metzger and company and Dominic Bates turn in a touchdown drive to tie it up at 14 all. We'll step aside for a brief moment, and our high school football coverage in week number 7 from Morgan County's Raider Stadium returns in a moment.
If you're having any problems with your heating system, you want someone who will be there right away to help. This is Russ Abels. At Abels, we provide emergency service for any brand of heating cooling system 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call us. We promise to get you up and running quickly and professionally. And if you ever need a replacement, we'll help you save energy and money with a new high-efficiency system, and we will do a flawless installation. If you need help with your heating, call Abels.
Dr. Richard Hall and Dave Davidson back in the booth at Raider Stadium. Well, Rich, new game now, 14 all.
Sure is. Great possession by John Glenn, aided by a couple penalties of the Morgan Raiders, but John Glenn's right back in this game and playing with a lot more confidence on that last drive than they have for the entire game. So John Glenn realizes they're right back in this thing. It's going to be a great finish the next 10:56.
And this Valentine Insurance kickoff by John Glenn is fumbled initially by Morgan back at the 6-yard line. And, well, guess what? You saw it on our live stream camera from Mike Mitchell. Another big yellow towel being thrown to the group. That's going to go against John Glenn on the tackle. So a return of 10 yards, or a return of 13 yards up to the 19. I think he signaled holding initially, did he not?
I didn't catch what it was, but more than likely that's the call.
Well, it's against the kicking team. Well, let's see what they do. They're going to put, it's 5 yards, whatever it is. Illegal use of the hands. Both of these coaches tonight, Matt Edwards and John Glenn and Seth Brown, Morgan, they have had their patience tested a few times tonight, haven't they?
Yeah, there's been times I don't think either coach knew what happened, and we just had a penalty and was assessed and we moved on, not sure what it was. But if you're John Glenn, you need a really good defensive stance here and get the ball back. They've been playing a lot better here late in this game.
Man, I'm trying to figure, we've had probably close to 10 to 12 real-time minutes of coach official discussions going on here in this game. 10:48 to play in this fourth quarter, 14 all.
We've had approximately, and I'll use the word approximately because we've had things thrown down, picked back up, and changed our mind. Approximately 14 penalties tonight between the two squads. And
boy, I'm sorry. I'm watching Matt Edwards over on the far sideline, and I mean, and he keeps his cool more often than not, but boy, he is absolutely losing his mind over there. First down and 10. Pauly flush from the pocket, and he's going to be hit and brought down by Dominic Bates. Look out. Don't get a 15-yard penalty there, young man, and the officials were rather generous there as Pauly runs for a gain of 1 up to the 26. So had a beautiful weather night. That's one thing that we have had this evening. The Morgan County folks here on homecoming, they had a great homecoming parade, homecoming festivities here. That flag has been completely still back there in the south end zone all night long. 2nd and 10 play. Pauly hammered as he threw that one. That one's incomplete. Boy, did Pauly take a shot. Oh, my. Helped off. Nice bit of sportsmanship by 84 Max Morrow. I think Dominic Bates is the one that unloaded on him as he tried to heave that one deep down the right side.
I think Tanner Banks might have gotten away with a block in the back right there on the rollout, but he did take a shot there. did Hayden Pauly, but
we watched our High Street Seneca LLC replay right there. It was Dominic Bates, 29, that laid a lick on Pauly. 3rd and 10, empty backfield now. And Pauly running for his life. He's going to be swallowed up. He won't have a chance to try to throw this one away. Kean Barton is there. Max Morrow blitzed inside. And for the second straight play, Pauly trying to scrape himself up off this Raider turf. That's a sack for John Glenn. That'll be a loss of 9. Maybe 10, I guess. They're going to mark him back at the 15. So punt situation here. All the momentum right now is swung to John Glenn.
I'll tell you, the interesting thing is the intensity of the John Glenn defensive line in particular has just been turned up, and they're taking control of this football game.
Well, kind of makes you wonder, like, where's this intensity been for a couple of weeks?
Well,
there?
I think they might have got challenged a little bit at halftime, and then they were holding on to it till right now. But, boy, they've unloaded recently.
Max Morrow races off the field and just does get off. Dominic Bates provides a heavy rush onto the punter, and that forced Jude Garber's punt to change his ankle, and he hits it off the right side of his foot, and it's going to be a short punt down at the 28-yard line, so only about a 14-yard punt at the 29 for Jude Garber. Really not his fault. Dominic Bates was rushing in, and if Garber doesn't do something at the last moment and change, that's a block punt, and that could be a touchdown on the special teams for JG possibly.
Yeah, John Glenn, though, has great field position here at the 28. They have to take advantage of it on this possession, Dave. You don't get too many opportunities like this.
They're going to start inside the Raider 30 with 9:33 to play in the game, tied up at 14. Metzger on the handoff. Getting around the left tackle, slips away from a few Raider tacklers. He's got a Bicon Services first down, but another penalty flag is in.
I think we got a hold on the far side as Metzger made the turn. The flag came out.
Hayden Pauly scrapes himself up off the turf again, and that young man is been beat to death the last 4 plays. And this is coming back. The hanky at the 32-yard line. So I guess they are going to mark it off back from the line of scrimmage.
That's a big play because Metzger had picked up really good yardage there, and now with the holding penalty just pushes them back another 10 yards.
Well, even if it doesn't negate a big run, you know, you had first down and 10 inside the 30. Now you got a 1st and 20, and yeah, you've got four downs to get the 20 yards, but 20 is a whole lot different than 10. Metzger again, same play around the left tackle. Again, they're finding a lot of room out there with Kean Barton, Jimmy Boyd, and that left side. as Metzger runs again, gets about all of the penalty yardage back, all but 1 yard. So a gain of 9, Metzger. And he's running outside, and he's going about 5-6 yards before he's ever, before a blue jersey ever finds him.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and the offensive line's doing a good job for the most part of sealing that defensive line over on the left side if they can get away with not getting called for a hold here or there.
Yeah, the Muskies, I think for the season have run more to the left than the right, but they've obviously found something out there that has kept, they've kept going to the well. That's a quick pitch and catch. Edwards finding Ryder Pennington. That number 80 jersey was all scrunched up around his pectorals, and that will be a gain of 5. Pennington to the 25-yard line. That'll bring up a third and a long 5 now with under 9 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. 4 down territory here for John Glenn for sure.
Big 3rd and 7 play for the Muskies here.
Howard and Morrow to the near side right. Pennington looking deep down the field. That's up for grabs, and it's picked off. The pass was underthrown. They were looking to Pennington on the deep slant. Pennington had to play defensive back, but to no avail. And the interception turned in by Hayden Banks.
And Dave, that is the first turnover in the game tonight.
Mm-hmm. Banks, again, he's been step for step with Pennington a lot here tonight, and he comes up with a takeaway. And that's a huge one for the Raider defense. That might be something that gets Big Mo back in their corner. I think the officials now discussing the interception happened about around the 1 yard line. And I think they're trying to determine if it's a touchback or is it going to be at the 1 or the 2. And they've apparently decided it will be a touchback. So the Raider offense now, and Hayden Pauley will take over with a 1st down and 10 from their own 20. Game still tied at 14. John Glenn with a golden opportunity there with inside the 30-yard line starting that drive and come up with zip. 3 receivers for Pauley, giving it to Tanner Banks. And Banks starts up the middle, now busted outside left. There's a penalty flag again coming in as Banks gets hammered out. Dominic Bates flying all over the field, 29, with the tackle and a Raider 1st down, but it's coming back. That flag was thrown relatively early in the play. And there isn't anybody happy tonight.
No.
Muskies are upset. Raider fans are upset. Everyone's upset tonight.
You either upset or confused here tonight, Dave.
We're just,
I'm
I
just
won't speak for
confused.
you. I'm just confused.
I'm the one that brought it up. I'm confused too.
So the ball being moved back to the 10. And the Raiders offense now will have a 1st and 20, like the Muskies had a few moments ago. 14 all here in this fourth quarter. And Hayden Pauley with Tanner Banks in the backfield with him, gives it to him off the left side. And the junior running back plows away for a gain of 5 up to the 15-yard line. And that is Kieran Arrington with the stop, number 25. 2nd and long. Coming up later on at the conclusion of our YRP TV live stream broadcast tonight, our Lock 9 Pizza Muskie Player of the Game and our Guernsey Muskingum Electric Cooperative Power Lineman of the Game. And Dr. Richard Hall qualified to select both of those. And Banks plowing straight ahead, not much happening this time. Nice job by the Muskies plugging up the hole. And there's another tackle for big 58 Nolan Sowers, the sophomore linebacker at 185 pounds, has a couple of stops here tonight. He has another one there for Banks after a gain of 1. So Tanner Banks over the 150-yard mark unofficially, but it's been slowed down a bit here in this second half for the most part after his first carry of the half.
Yeah, it really has. John Glenn's done a nice job defensively on Tanner Banks.
3rd and 14, and Pauly to throw to the outside sideline left. That's caught by Kason Foley. Does he have enough? I think so. That's a Bicon Services first down, 15-yard pass. Foley and Pauly bail him out of a jam, and a much-needed first down for this Raider offense to stem the tide a little bit that the Muskies have captured in this second half.
Yeah, great play there by the Morgan offense for that first down.
New set of downs for the Raiders from their own 31. 3 receivers bunched to the near side left, and 1 to the right as they give it to Banks straight ahead. And Banks lowers his shoulder and lowers the boom on Connor Shoemake as he and Sowers combine for the tackle after a gain of 3. Coach Seth Brown's offense and the Raiders being really deliberate here, just kind of slowing things down here a bit. I think just trying to give any kind of refreshment to his offensive line as much as he can, even though I'm sure he would like to tire out that Muskie defense again. From the 35 on a 2nd and 7. 4 wideouts for Paul. This will be actually Gage Roberts, the sophomore, back there to throw, and he finds the Raider receiver.
Ponchak on the catch.
Yep, Ponchak, another catch. That's number 2 or 3 for him tonight. Nice grab to the John Glenn 49-yard line. And let's see, that's a pickup of around 14, 15 there for Ponchak. First down and 10 with 4 receivers again for quarterback Gage Roberts. Gives it off to Tanner Banks. Banks hit at the line of scrimmage, struggles ahead as Landon Cornelius, number 77, and Connor Shoemake, number 12, throw him down, but not until Banks collects another 4 yards to add to his rushing total. I think Banks enjoys getting hit and hitting people.
He does.
he just does not seem to be phased at all.
That's his 20th carry on the night, so he's getting plenty of work. Unofficially 161 yards.
2 receivers this time for Pauly. 1 on each side. Foley to the near side left. They'll hand it again to Banks, going through the left side of the line. He's got good blocks. Finds daylight to the 40, 30, escapes a tackler, and finally Pennington hammers him out of bounds inside the J&M Electric red zone at the 7. Bicon Services first down Raiders, and Banks again escapes with a big run. 38 yards for Banks. Scratch that, 42 yards.
.203 yards on the ground. Woo. I'm not sure they're done.
Well, okay, so he had 4 yards. Yeah, it turned out, okay, 40-yard run. They're going to mark him at the 5. Initially, the referee here on the near sideline said 7. Now they've moved it to the 5. 40 more yards for Tanner Banks. He's in the backfield again, and he'll get it again. He's cut down at the line of scrimmage this time as Nolan Sowers and a couple of Muskies come flying in to knife him down after no gain. Clock running at 4:20, fourth quarter. Raiders trying to break this tie. And mind you, they have waited 21 years so far since their last football victory against John Glenn.
They're taking plenty of time. They want to score with as much little time on the clock as possible, but they definitely want to score.
2 receivers near side left. Foley outside to the right, number 8. And they'll give it to Hayden Pauly. And he tries to get outside right. He's going to be thrown down around the 2. or I'm sorry, not Hayden Pauley, Hayden Banks, number 4, made the interception to stop the John Glenn potential scoring threat on the last possession. Gets just outside the 1-yard line. So a gain of 4 for Hayden Banks, and now 2 plays to get 1 yard and the go-ahead score for the Raiders.
I would say it's a good guess that Tanner Banks might touch it here.
He could. You may be onto something here. 3 minutes and counting. And the Raiders want the go-ahead score. Play clock down to 2, and they snap it, and they give it to Tanner Banks, and he's in. And the Raiders have, again, a Kemp Insurance Agency go-ahead touchdown, 20-14. Tanner Banks, the star of that drive for the Raiders. As he comes to the sideline, helmet off, getting congratulations from his teammates. And now the Jude Garber point after attempt coming. And we're going to have a Zimba Company's timeout by the Raiders, as I don't think they were quite set up after the celebratory touchdown. May have only had 10 out there. 2:57 remaining. Raiders right now with a 20-14 advantage.
Still plenty of time for John Glenn, though, Dave,
Yeah.
to get the ball back and put a good possession together, go down, tie this thing up again, and see what happens.
All 3 timeouts. No need to quite push the panic button yet, but boy, John Glenn has climbed the mountain so long here tonight. Finally got even, and then had a golden opportunity after Dominic Bates' punt rush forced a short punt of only 15 yards out of Morgan. They take over at the Raider 29, but that drive, their last drive, ended in a Hayden Banks interception at the goal line. And then the Raiders plow 80 yards down the field thanks to big 22 Tanner Banks, who is close to approaching the 200 rushing yard mark tonight.
Oh, he has 23 carries, 202 yards.
We have a delay of game on Morgan. That actually plays into Morgan's favor because that point after attempt had no chance of being completed. And I think they signaled delay of game. The play clock got down just before the snap. So they'll move it 5 yards back. So a bit of a longer extra point attempt here for Jude Garber. This will be a 25-yard point after attempt here to try to make it 21-14. Good snap, good hold, and another good kick for Jude Garber. 21-14 Raiders, and they are just 2:57 away from their first win over John Glenn in 21 years. We'll see if the Muskies have anything left in the tank to come back trailing by 7 in this fourth quarter. We'll return on YRP TV in a moment.
School's back. For some, things may feel overwhelming. Allwell is here to help you find a healthy balance. Our behavioral health services can keep your mind on track, while our primary care services can keep your body healthy. Our mission is to help people feel better, think more clearly, make good decisions, and have healthy relationships. We have offices in Zanesville, Coshocton, New Lexington, McConnellsville, Caldwell, and now on Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge. Visit us at allwell.org. Be well, stay well, all well.
Back on YRP TV, Brett Klein, our video director, caught me with my mouth full there. I'm dared to take another bite of this sub. Thanks to athletic director Tara and all the Morgan press box crew here, taking real good care of us here tonight. We appreciate it. Great facility. This stadium just about 2 years old, not even quite 2 years old. Beautiful press box facility and turf field. Major upgrade here for this community a couple of years ago, and it's paying dividends here tonight on homecoming night, and they have a 7-point lead.
Yeah, beautiful place to play, obviously. A great possession there for Morgan Raiders. Now if you're John Glenn, got to put the drive together and get out and tie this thing up. And plenty of time. Don't need to panic. Just keep running your offense. Go down and put some points on the board if you're John Glenn.
And Reese Metzger at the 4-yard line fields this Valentine Insurance kickoff. And he is hit at the 15 and dropped right there. And a beautiful stop by the Raiders special teams led by Mason Pauley, a freshman, number 18.
And if you're John Glenn, you can't panic, but you got to play with some sense of urgency here. You can't mess around. You've got to be ready to go, but you don't have to panic either. Just play with a sense of urgency.
Well, 85 yards to go for John Glenn if they have a chance to extend this football game. Raider fans want to win, and they can just about all but taste it now. Edwards with 4 receivers rolling to his left. No pressure. Throwing. Kind of drops one, tries to drop one in over the top to Max Morrow. It's incomplete at the 35. I think Morrow maybe expecting, or Edwards expecting Morrow to come back to that football a bit. Didn't happen. 2nd down and 10. Coming up at the end of our contest tonight, our Guernsey Muskingum Electric Cooperative Power Lineman of the game and our Lock 9 Pizza Muskie Player of the game. But right now, a lot of work to do for JG. Throwing a quick screen to the far left side. Ryder Pennington has the catch, picks up close to 5. They'll mark him at the 20 for a gain of 4. 3rd down and 6. Everything's 4-down territory now for John Glenn with 2:25 and counting. Big 3rd down here for Owen Edwards and company. Quick snap. Edwards looking, throws toward the far sideline. Catch is made by Pennington. Caught it inbounds, but a 1st down. Bicon Services 1st down for John Glenn. Gain of 6. Muskies will hurry to the line. Clock continues now at 2:10. 1st down 10. And a draw play for Metzger running off that left side. Raiders were there waiting for it this time. Stayed at home. They bottle up Metzger for a gain of maybe 1. Only 1 yard. Still 3 timeouts for John Glenn. Muskies really not showing a lot of anxiety at the moment. Now they snap it, wasted about 20 seconds close to it there. Edwards pump fakes, now keeps it himself up the middle, and again only a short gain of 1. That will prompt a Zimba Company's timeout by John Glenn, their first of the second half. And with 1:28 to go, John Glenn in a world of hurt right now with a 3rd and 8 outside their own 29-yard line. So a couple of not great plays here by John Glenn, and a good bit of time worn off the clock here. About close to 40 seconds between those 2 plays.
You're right, Dave. Even though, the play calls are the play calls, but it took them a long time to get those plays off, and they were, pretty basic run plays. I don't think it should take that long to get the snap and get the plays, but that's why I'm sitting up here, I guess.
Easier said than done. Tanner Banks has been the man of the match tonight here on homecoming night. Over 200 yards rushing unofficially. A 1-yard TD run for Banks on the game's opening drive, and then capped it off with his 2nd touchdown run of a yard on the previous drive here with 2:57 to play in the game, and that's where we are at right now, the 21-14 Raider lead. Edwards on a 3rd and long, throwing toward the sideline, and throws that one for the John Glenn cheerleading squad over Pennington's head. 4th down coming up for Edwards and company, and the last hurrah for John Glenn here. Well, what are you looking for here, Coach?
You're going to throw the football. I would say they're going to try to get it to Ryder Pennington. He's their most reliable receiver throughout the year. I would say they'll look for Pennington here.
He's bunched to the left side, coming across the formation, looking deep down. He's got Reed Howard. Oh, he dropped the ball at the 42-yard line. The ball was thrown just a touch behind his back shoulder, but Reed Howard had it in his hands. He is thoroughly upset with himself, and that will do it as John Glenn's hopes are dashed in this one tonight. Edwards pretty close to putting that one on the money. He had a wide open Reed Howard in the middle of the field, and the Raider defense fortunate right there, but with 1:17 to play, looks like they can just about put this one on ice. Raiders at the Muskie 29. They'll just have to, if they want to, really just run a couple of plays. John Glenn's got 2 timeouts. The quarterback is Gage Roberts, number 14, and they'll give it off to Tanner Banks, no surprise. And Kean Barton puts a stop to his run at the line of scrimmage, making the tackle, and a second timeout taken by the Muskies. A Zimba Company's timeout. John Glenn with 1:11 to play in this fourth quarter. We'll step aside for a moment. Here on YRP TV, the conclusion coming up after this.
Need help finding a job or recruiting reliable workers? Action Total Staffing is your trusted local staffing partner. We work hard to connect skilled candidates with employers across southeastern Ohio. Action Total Staffing provides industrial, administrative, temp to hire, direct hire, and seasonal staffing solutions. Since 1994, our staff has offered personalized screenings and in-person interviews to match top talent with great opportunities. Visit our Zanesville location to launch your next chapter with Action Total Staffing.
Thanks again to Brett Klein and Mike Mitchell, our YRP TV video gurus. I don't know, what's your official title in this? Director? YRP TV director? On-site director / coordinator? Technical director? Mike, our cameraman, running our main camera. Here are the pictures you're seeing tonight. Thanks to those guys. Raiders should just have to run a couple more plays. I don't think they have to get another first down, or they could run this game down to just a sliver of time left without a first down. 2nd and 10 after the Banks run a moment ago. Probably going to see the football again, and he will right on cue. John Glenn knows it, but Max Morrow tackles him from behind, and Banks still manages 4 yards around the left tackle. And the final Zimba Company's John Glenn Muskie timeout with 1:03 to play in this ball game. 21-14 Raiders on top. Looks like they're going to come away with win number 5 on the year. And as we said a moment ago, John Glenn's won 16 straight in this series, 19 of 20. And that is all but in jeopardy. They're tending to Tanner Banks right now. There he is behind a crowd of people. Banks is up on his feet. May have just gotten wrapped up around the ankle. Turned a little bit as he was rushing outside. May have gotten twisted. You see that a good bit on those speed rushes to the outside. So Banks' night, I would think, is done. And I think, I would say, Richard, he has done quite enough for this Raider offense.
Oh, he's done
tonight.
he's done a great job. Done a great job. Very good player.
Yeah, we'll have his stats and all the others here in our post-game report. Lock 9 Pizza Player of the Game for the Muskies, and our Guernsey Muskingum Electric Cooperative Power Lineman of the game. That'll be for Morgan tonight. Couple in mind to select for that. 3rd down and about 7. As Gage Roberts gives it off to Hayden Banks. And I would assume younger brother of Tanner. And Banks is thrown down for a loss of about 4 back to the 31-yard line. So Hayden Banks really with the key play of the game too, Rich, with that interception at the goal line stopping the Muskies drive, which would have put them up 21-14, and instead he turns it around and then Tanner Banks takes care of the rest.
Really was, and that's the thing. That's the only turnover we've had in the game tonight, and it was a big one at that because John Glenn was definitely driving, and the ball was just thrown a little bit short and intercepted in the end zone by Hayden Banks.
That'll be the final timeout taken by John Glenn, the Zimpa Company's timeout by the Muskies. Well, I'm not sure if they had one too. The scoreboard showed 2, but maybe not. Things have been just a little bit off here all night tonight for us up here in the booth, but looks like a happy night for the homecoming Raiders. 43.2 seconds remaining. It's a 4th down and 12 at the 31-yard line for Morgan. And we'll see the quarterback is number 14, a sophomore, 6'2 sophomore Gage Roberts. That's their QB of the future for the next couple of years for this resurging Morgan Raider football program that was in the doldrums a few years ago, but Seth Brown has done a nice job of rebuilding this group and has rebuilt a lot of confidence and strength and speed in this football program. And Roberts, the throw, steps up in the pocket. A flag comes in. Had a man open, and it's knocked away. Metzger on the coverage there at the 21-yard line. This penalty flag probably coming against Morgan, and I would imagine JG will decline that. Yep. Holding on the Raiders, which will be refused. Muskie offense will come back out onto the field with 37 seconds remaining and no timeouts. So we'll see what the Muskies can offer down a touchdown. They have no timeouts, and they are going to have to work very quickly, and they're going to have to get first downs on pretty much every play. 4 receivers. Okay, the Raiders are going to take a Zimba Company's timeout now. Had an empty backfield. I think that was Metzger was racing off the field. I think that's who it was. He dove out to the Muskie sideline to avoid a 5-yard penalty out there. I think that's who that was. And the Muskies get, no, that wasn't Metzger. I don't know who that was. Someone raced out over there and dove out of the way to avoid being the 12th man. And then Seth Brown's Raiders call for time. So 37 seconds remaining. Week number 7 about to conclude. We'll have a Surgeon Construction scoreboard update at the end of our webcast here tonight as well. New Lexington's going to remain undefeated here tonight, Rich. That looks like the class of the MVL so far.
Yeah, no question about it. They're really, really good. I have seen them on film a couple times. They're pretty good in every phase of the game.
Had a big win last week at Tri-Valley, 29-7. Took down probably the second or third best team in the league. Edwards now on a 1st down and 10, heaving it deep down the right side. And it's caught! It's caught at the 30. The Raiders looked like they had it picked off. And at the last moment, Reed Howard snatched it away from the Raiders secondary. A huge play. "50-yard pass play to Reed Howard. Muskie still with life. 28 seconds. Empty backfield for Owen Edwards. Good protection. Steps into pocket. Throws over the middle. He had Metzger at the 7-yard line, and it sails over incomplete. Maybe this one not quite over yet.
Yeah, maybe not.
It looked pretty bleak. But not so much now. And Reed Howard, who had the drop on the previous drive a moment ago, redeems himself with a huge catch there. Empty backfield again for Owen Edwards on 2nd and 10. Edwards looking deep. Got a man. Up for grabs. Looks like it's picked off. It is. Intercepted by Morgan. And taken away by Caden Norris, number 1. There is a penalty flag down, but I think it's coming against John Glenn anyway. And that will do it. The Muskies had another shot, but the second INT turned in by the Raider defense. This time, Caden Norris, the man of the hour. And the Raiders now will finally, without doubt, preserve their 21-14 victory in their first in 21 years over JG. Raiders will go a bit into their victory formation. Gage Roberts will take a knee after a few yards lost back at the 15-yard line, and that will do it. Raiders can celebrate their homecoming victory tonight. The Raiders with their 5th win of the season, a 5-2 record now for Coach Seth Brown's Raiders. And the cannon fires one more time to signify victory over in the south end zone. And the Muskies now drop to 3-4 on the year. A 21-14 win for the homecoming Raiders. And Hayden Pauley, the homecoming king, as well as Gianna Myers, homecoming queen. All the Morgan County folks happy here tonight as they watch their Raiders with a touchdown win for their 5th victory. More to come in our post-game report. We'll step aside for a few moments. Come back with the wrap-up. Richard Hall stats, our players of the game for John Glenn, and our Morgan Raider Guernsey Muskingum Electric Cooperative Power lineman of the game. All that coming, as well as our final Surgeon Construction scoreboard update when we return on YRP TV.
Shriver's Pharmacy is a proud supporter of Ohio high school sports, wishing all area athletes, coaches, and parents a healthy and successful season. When you play, play with heart. Local and independent since 1979. Shriver's Pharmacy, because we care.
Founded in 1987 with hard work, dedication, and a commitment to quality, the Zemba Companies has grown from a small family operation into a trusted leader in excavation, trucking, concrete, and environmental services. Built on a foundation of safety, respect, accountability, teamwork, loyalty, and grit, the Zemba Companies continues to evolve while staying true to our core values, always putting people and service first. Whatever the job, our team is here to help you simply just do. Call us today at 740-452-1880 or visit our website at www.zembacompanies.com.
I'm Ted from TK Auto Service at 2303 Glen Highway.
And I'm Julie. We've been in business for 26 years, proudly serving this community with reliable and trustworthy auto services.
Our customers are like family, and we are committed to keeping your vehicle running smoothly.
Whether it's a quick oil change or a major repair, we're here for you. We appreciate your trust and support.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram to stay updated and connected.
Thanks for choosing TK Auto Services. We're here because of you.
Honestly, we've all been there. That place where it's past anxiety, past focus, where even reaching out to your closest friend feels too hard. I'm Crystal Reynolds with Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions. We understand how fast those feelings can take over, especially with the stress of work, family, and life. That's why we've opened a mental health urgent care clinic in Cambridge, Ohio, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. No appointment needed. Just walk in. Come in today. Feel better today. Call us, Cedar Ridge Behavioral Health Solutions Mental Health Urgent Care.
I was sitting in my car and it wouldn't start. I lifted the hood and the engine was falling apart. What would I do? My eyes filled with tears. Then on the radio I heard of West 40 by Pay here, where for a little money down and a little each week, I could have a car, nice, shiny, and sleek. So I walked in the door and I put the money down. Now I got a nice car that I can drive around. West 40 by Pay here will help rebuild your credit. The corner of Dewey and Route 40 in Cambridge, don't you forget it.
West 40 Auto Sales, corner of Route 40 and Dewey Avenue in Cambridge, is home of the guaranteed credit approval, with most loans approved while you wait. Go to their website to fill out an online loan application, west40autosales.com. You'll also find their weekly special listed there.
For 129 years, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance has proudly provided coverage for homes, farms, and families across Ohio. Our commitment to reliable, affordable insurance is something you can count on. Agents who write for us can be found at patronsbuckeye.com. Whether you're protecting your home, your land, or your legacy, we offer personalized service and true hometown care. Trust a neighbor. Trust experience. Trust Patrons Buckeye Mutual. Visit us at 16050 McConnellsville Road in Caldwell or find us on Facebook. Coverage that cares. Close to home.
Back on Wire PTV in our postgame. Morgan 21, John Glenn 14, the final. And the Raiders here on homecoming night in 2025, they break a 21-year drought against the Fish and come away with the win.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Morgan played really well tonight. You know, John Glenn kept fighting, just didn't have enough at the end, but Morgan really did a great job, 341 yards of total offense, 40 carries on the ground for 220. Can't say enough about Tanner Banks tonight. He had 25 carries for 206 yards, so he just pretty much carried the load. Offensively, Hayden Polly, 10 of 15, 141. Kason Foley, 4 catches for 63 yards, and Arias Ponchek, 2 catches for 45 yards. And then, of course, defensively did a great job with the 2 interceptions tonight defensively for the Morgan Raiders. For John Glenn, didn't turn out quite as good. 148 yards through the air, 13 of 21 for Owen Edwards, 253 yards on the ground, 24 carries, 105 yards on the ground. Reese Metzger had 16 carries for 77 yards to lead the Muskies, but it all came down, Dave, to late in the game with the 2 turnovers that just came back to haunt the John Glenn Muskies tonight.
Yeah, we were just told by the Morgan press box crew here, Keith Spare and the athletic staff here, that the interception, Hayden Bankus, his first game back after injury, and hopefully the quarterback for Morgan, Hayden Pauley, the senior, we didn't see him on the last series or so. He was, as we said, he really took some vicious shots those last 3 or 4 plays that he was in at quarterback, and then the one he took again on the defensive side of things as a safety. Hopefully he's okay. You could right now hear the Raiders coming off right in front of the 50-yard line here right now. He does not look well. Hayden Pauley is 6'2" senior, and hopefully that young man will be okay. Not sure what the injury is, possibly concussion related, perhaps. He's getting some help off the field here tonight, leaving the field, so we certainly wish that young man all the best health-wise and so on too, but he had a big part in tonight's homecoming victory.
Yeah, we just hope he's okay. Nice player, did a great job for the Morgan Raiders tonight. And, just a quality win for Morgan. Like you said, it's been many, many years since they've won against John Glenn. And then to do it on homecoming night in this beautiful facility is very special for the Morgan Raiders, and hats off to them. Boy, if you're John Glenn, you really got to regroup. It doesn't get any easier. They're going to, and we're looking at week 8 next week. You run out of time to put any type of run together to finish a positive season, and so if you're John Glenn, you just got to find a way to keep working and try to get better. If you're Morgan, you're on a roll. You want to keep going and try to put a winning effort together. John Glenn, luckily for them, they're at home next week. They host Riverview. Morgan has a tough test next week, Dave. They travel to Sheridan to take on the Generals.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of preparation for Morgan for next week. If you're John Glenn, you've got to keep yourself where you want to be mentally, and it is a benefit probably to play at home. And we know that Riverview is struggling this year, but you've got to prepare for everybody because anything can happen. So if you're John Glenn, you just got to get back at it.
And hopefully for Hayden Pauley, the homecoming king tonight, along with the homecoming queen Gianna Myers, we hope that Pauley is okay. He really in this second half here really took quite a beating in those last few plays that he was in there. So hopefully would be able to recover and play next week or the rest of this season, we hope. Before we get to our Lock 9 Pizza Muskie Player of the Game, which Richard Hall will announce here in a moment, we want to announce our Guernsey Muskingum Electric Cooperative Power Lineman of the game, and that's going to be number 66, senior Devin Waggy for the Morgan Raiders. Our congratulations to the senior lineman, offensive lineman, and defensive tackle with our power lineman of the game honors tonight for the Raiders. And right now we got Dr. Richard Hall with the very studious selection of our Muskie Player of the Game for Lock 9 Pizza.
Well, I'll tell you, Dave, this might surprise you a little bit, but I think we're going to select Reed Howard tonight. He had a drop there late that I really disappointed, but he made a great catch to give them a chance, the 55-yarder late in the game. So we're going to go with Reed Howard as our player of the game tonight. He gave the Muskies a chance with that huge reception late. It just didn't work out for him, but he gave him a chance.
Had a couple of pass breakups, too, I think, early on in the game as well. So a good overall offensive and defensive game for the most part from Reed Howard. So he is our Lock 9 Pizza Player of the Game, the sophomore from John Glenn. Our congratulations. The Raiders with win number 5 on the season here in 7 games. Muskies dropped to 3-4. As Richard said, the Muskies go home to face Riverview, who is still without a point scored yet this season. And they're going to have, the Black Bears, that is, have their hands full once again. We'll take a look here at a moment at our Surgeon Construction final scoreboard update, too, before we head out of Raiders Stadium. Last scores we've had reported from around the MVL and beyond. New Lexington, a final 54-16 over the Maysville Panthers. And, well, now we're gonna lock up, I guess, on the score app here. Just a moment. Well, okay. Had a total freeze up right there. Let's get back to it again. And there we go. We've got Sheridan, a final 28-7 victory at Philo at Sam Hatfield Stadium there. So the Electrics go down. Sheridan gets their 5th victory of the season as well. Union Local blanks Cambridge 48-0. Meadowbrook, another solid offensive output tonight. They ring up 49 to beat the Redskins 49-17. West End rebounds here. That's a bit of a surprise. West Muskingum really put it together at home tonight, and they hammered Crooksville 34-12. And that one, Crooksville with only, I think, 1 loss coming into that game tonight. Riverview on the board. They scored their first touchdown of the season, and Tri-Valley wins over Riverview 52-6. Is the final. So the Riverview Black Bears, for the first time in 7 weeks, finally get the goose egg off the board. Indian Valley hammered Garraway. That Indian Valley team is going to be a team to reckon with in the playoffs for sure. 40-12 over Garraway. Licking Valley blanked Zanesville 44-0. And let's see, Caldwell 63, Rosecrans 28. That was late in the fourth quarter. And I think those are all the games of significance in our area. Barnesville with another win. They rebounded after a tough loss to probably the top team in West Virginia in the big school division last week, George Washington. They come away with a win over Wheeling Central tonight, 43-14 over the Maroon Knights down in Wheeling. So nice rebound here for Barnesville in week number 7. Your final thoughts here.
Well, if you're Morgan, you want it to continue. If you're John Glenn, you want to get back in the winning ways, and both will just go back and keep working at it and keep trying to get better. Both programs are very well coached. I know Coach Edwards is going to keep working with this team to keep improving, and obviously, I believe you and I are at John Glenn next week for the John Glenn Riverview game. I think we're together there.
Well, actually,
possibly.
I moved. You're going to be you and Mike Snively have got that one now.
I guess we broke up, but I will be at John Glenn next week for John Glenn at Riverview with Mike Snively. So looking forward to that.
And Riverview gets on the board tonight, so they will not go into week number 8 having not scored yet. Our games next week on our AVC stations, Lindsley and Barnesville, Martins Ferry at Cambridge, West End at Maysville, River at Shenandoah, and Riverview at John Glenn, as Rich said. So our thanks to our YRP-TV crew, Brett Klein, Mike Mitchell. Thanks a lot, guys. Nice job. Dr. Richard Hall and Dave Davidson saying goodnight from Raider Stadium on homecoming night as the homecoming king, Hayden Polly, and Gianna Myers, the homecoming queen, happy and victorious, as well as the Raider community with a 21-14 win over John Glenn. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
You've been listening to High School Football, a presentation of ABC Sports.